Some people like me are just destined to fuck up everything that we mess with. If I was made as a joke, I don't get it. Missed the call, but I guess I got the message. Usually I fall too hard, I'm addicted to pain. And if the world's on fire, I'll be swimming in flames, yeah. Cause I'm too impatient to wait for change. I know I'm far from perfect, oh yeah. But I know I can make it work, I know I can make it work. I'm crazy, everybody knows my name, but I don't even know my name. Going insane, putting heavy on my brain, and I don't even know my name. It's a story about a ID crisis. Used to think my only future was the night shift. Brain on ADHD, autopilot. And through it all somehow I kept smiling. I can never find the right words to say. Only a handful of family ever sees my face. But I'm only human, don't we all make mistakes? I'm drowning in my head again, and my thoughts don't want me to win. They show compassion made of plastic, and I don't wanna be another tragedy, but I'd rather be dead than a skeleton dreaming about the things that he couldn't be. Cause I'm too impatient to wait for dreams.
You tell me you love me, you kiss and you hurt me, have some fun. I give you a smile, hang around for a while, getting it on. And I don't really show it, that you're the only one that breaks my walls. Now baby I'm all for it, and every time that I pick up the phone, I love it when you say my name. I love it when you say my name. I love it when you say my name. I love it when you. I love it when you. I love it when you say my name. I love it when you say my name. I love it when you say my name. I love it when you. I love it when you. You figure me out, all the things I'm about, nothing I hide. I'll take any chance to get close as we dance, let you decide. And I don't really show that you're the only one that breaks my walls. Now baby I'm all for it, and every time that I pick up the phone, I love it when you say my name. I love it when you say my name. I love it when you say my name. I love it when you. I love it when you. I love it when you say my name.
I'm walking on a tightrope, and I wish I could touch the ground. My future's covered in smoke, but my head is up in the clouds. And maybe this will all fade after one bad day, and I'll be okay.
tried to fight, but there's an end in sight. Wave the white flag, I'm yours tonight. 'Cause my heart can't take these heights. I need your love with me for life. I need your love, I need your love with me for life.
Hi. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Hey, so much stuff to be happy about, I'm sure. I'm sure there is. Okay. Sure, very lot to be happy about, I'm sure. Okay. So, let's see how people are doing out there. How's everyone doing out there? How's everyone doing out? Who do we got here? Who do we got here? We got well, we got no one at the moment. Yeah, no one at the moment because I just accidentally turned off my screen. Okay, so let's see who we got here. Who do we got? We got, we got, here we go. Sir Bartholomew. Hello, Sir Bartholomew. I know, right, Sir Bartholomew? Hello, Alyssa. How you doing, Alyssa? Matt Saigai. Always happy to see you, Matt Saigai. Always happy to see you. Druzilla. Hello, hello. Me too, TJ. I hope the revolution is starting. Hello, hello. W, welcome. By the way, W, I believe W, you asked me to react to the video of Anna Kasparian going up against Just Pearly Things, right? I did in fact do that, but I did it on Twitch, so you might need to go over to Twitch to watch it. But I did react to that video. W asks, dropping a question in the pre-stream chat for you, Casual Revolt. Thoughts on Ezra Klein or his abundance argument? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit, W. Absolute bullshit. It's another milquetoast attempt at getting around the problems of free market capitalism, of capitalism in general, by sort of tweaking around the edges and dismantling regulations. It is at the I don't know. I don't like Ezra Klein. In this case, I do not like him. I think he's way too libbed up for his own good. And I think the fact that so many corporate people like his suggestions for changing things is a bad sign. It's a very bad sign. I know, Mithril. I'm sorry, Mithril. Okay. All right, let's see here. So not a fan, W. Yeah, it's some center right thing. Yes. Maybe we can talk about it sometime, the whole abundance thing. I cannot stand it. He refuses to talk about the elites, by the way. He just refuses. He always is blaming. Okay, well, maybe we can talk about some. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Alfie, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a merchant seeking beautiful pearls, who, when he has found one pearl of great price, went and sold all he had and bought it. Sorry, my brain is trying to process that. Okay. More power to you, Alfie. A bit uncomfortable. Anyway, all right. So, TJ, I'd rather have both what I have, all the pearls, and the big pearl. There you go, TJ. I'm not even gonna touch that. You all can deal with it. Thank you, Luke. Hello, Luke. Luke, then he spent all of eternity in coerced worship of the Almighty. You didn't say it, Luke, but I mean, I didn't say it. You said it, Luke. Okay. Hello, Dolly Boy. Hello, Mithril. Hello, Pizza That Giant. Haven't seen you for a while, Pizza That Giant. Okay, is Medium like kind of like Substack where it's easy to write for? I'm not sure, Luke. I know what it is. It's like I think so. Okay. All right. Hello, Drusilla. Hello, Drusilla. I know Drusilla. Just let's not. I don't even know what that was about. I don't even know. Welcome, Drusilla, by the way. Okay, but is the guy behind the T twerking? You mean in my new screen that Meowsor made? Hello, virtual violence. Hello, Jamil. Hello, Jamil. You're the goat, Jamil. You're the goat. Okay, Alyssa. Hello. Hello. Rachel. Hello, Rachel. Nice for us to join. How dare you, Luke? You're the D-gen. Okay, Jazz Naz, don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, please, folks, please hit the like button. It'll help get more people in here. All right, it'll help get more people in here. Hello, Louise. Welcome, Louise. Louise, I hope your stream holds up today. Tomation, SWE. Hello, Tomation. Welcome back. Mithril, you elitist. Yeah. Okay. I think the theist left. We can only hope. Okay. Matt Saigai, he secretly loves Ezra and Ethan Klein. He also likes Destiny. Matt Saigai, you're hilarious. You're hilarious. And one of these days I'm going to ban you, and I'm going to do it with great joy. All right. I did not get that much sleep, Matt Saigai, but I'm okay with it. All right. I'm all caffeinated. Hello, DH. Yeah, okay. Hello, DH. 3938 DHDH plus 20 years of hard labor. Not sure what you're referring to, but welcome to the stream. Hello, Bish to Topol. There's a lot of folks coming in here suddenly. Hello, Big Braden. Okay, hello, Big Braden. All right, you guys. So let's see here, right? Let's see here. How dare you, Drusilla? Hello, G-Man. Hello, G-Man. Welcome back, G-Man. All right, you guys. So we got a lot to talk about, and you all notice I have a new screen. Excuse me. I have a new screen here, right? A new screen that for the beginning of our live streams, and that might change with time. We'll see. We'll see. But I hope you all liked it. It was done by Meowsor, by the way. All right. So I wanted to talk with you all about something important. All right. I mean, everything I talk about is important. What can I say? So what are we going to do? I'm going to go right over to this. By the way, folks, if you like what you see, you can always donate to the stream by sending a super chat, or if you're over on Twitch, sending bits. All right. So I'm going to go right into the important point here. Okay. Right into the important point here. So you can see here, I wrote down a little bit really fast right before I started, and I wanted to read you all something because one of the reasons I changed my starting screen here, okay, is because of this. This is from a very famous academic, very intelligent guy who is an expert, is a historian. His name is Timothy Snyder. He wrote a number of great books, including Bloodlands, a history of Eastern Europe between Hitler and Stalin, excuse me. He also wrote a book called basically 20 lessons from tyranny in the 20th century. Oh, sorry. Basically, it's something called like Resisting Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century, whatever it may be. Hello, Ass Pain. Glad to see you here. And one of his points he makes in this book is the following, and this is why we're starting with this. I think it's very important for you all to hear this, okay? He, a very big historical expert on fascism, he said the following. This is one of his key points. Watch out for the paramilitaries. When the men with guns, who have always claimed to be against the system, start wearing uniforms and marching around with torches and pictures of a leader, the end is nigh. When the pro-leader paramilitary and the official police and military intermingle, the game is over. I'm going to read that last part to you all again. I really want to emphasize this. And if I seem like I'm being super serious, it's because I am being super serious. When the pro-leader paramilitary and the official police and military intelligence intermingle, the game is over. Now, I don't know about you, but more and more evidence is coming out that many of the ICE agents, are former Proud Boys. We've even seen some evidence that some of them, we even saw image of one that had an SS tattoo on their neck. All right. Now, There was a myth going around that said that Enrico Terrio, for example, was part of them. That appears to not be true. It was just someone named after Enrico Terrio. Regardless, that could be a lie, but regardless, there does appear to be an intermingling now of the official police, military, government institutions, and the former paramilitaries who are loyal to the leader. Okay. And this is a very scary thought. All right. Now, this was kind of already happening for a while, but just some of the recent revelations have made it a lot more clear to me that this has happened. And I wanted to go into a bit more details about this and make some other comparisons that Timothy Snyder does not make, but that I can make. All right. It's a scary thought. Okay. So, okay. Let's go on here. Now, when he says the game is over, that does not mean that that resistance is futile or anything like that, okay? It just means that the fascists are in control. Now, I could actually nitpick with him a bit because we're also seeing some amount of resistance from the judiciary and some other things. But yeah, it's very dangerous when the paramilitaries become part of the state. All right. Because then the state can pardon any action that they take, especially the president can. And what did we see happening in Minneapolis? Is one woman gets murdered, and then immediately, essentially, it's covered up, it's excused as being legitimate. And let's say even if that ICE officer was to be found guilty of something, they would be pardoned by Trump anyway, right? So let me show you some historical comparisons. Over here, we have an image, all right? There you go, Mithril, okay? Anyone knows the history of fascist Italy? This is the image that was used by a group of paramilitaries called the Squadristi, who are also known as black shirts, okay, the black shirts. They were a paramilitary fascist organization. They looked something like this. I pulled up an image of them so you can see. Okay, there were basically a bunch of thugs. Lots of them were former militaries. Lots of them were former military, and they wore black shirts, which is why they're called the black shirts. They would wander the streets, beating people up, beating up communists, beating up socialists, beating up anyone who went against the fascist party. Okay. And before Mussolini took control, they were independent of the state. They were a paramilitary force, kind of like the Proud Boys. Then, in 1923, after Mussolini took power, he basically reclassified them as a militia that was under the direct control of the Italian government, and they became an official part of the state, and he started using them to crack down on dissent, go after political opponents, go after socialists, communists, and things like that, and then could excuse their crimes because he was the head of state. So he integrated them into the state, these thugs, these literal guys that his whole job is just violence, and then made them basically immune from the law, and from state control. Okay? So there's that. Another example here. This was not the best chart that I could find. It's really hard to find a good chart of this. But I want to point out that oftentimes in a fascist government, you have the standard governmental structure. All right? The hierarchy. At the top, you typically have the leader, the Führer, the Duce, whatever you want to call the person at the top. And then you have the standard bureaucratic government below, the part of the government that's in charge of sanitation, the part of the government that's in charge of diplomacy, whatever it may be. Okay. Under a fascist government, what typically takes place is that there is a separate organization that is only loyal to the leader, that forms in parallel to the rest of the state, and then that is used to keep the rest of the state in line and beat them into submission and make sure that the leader's will is carried out. I can show you an image here. This is Adolf Hitler at the top. And the name of the organization you can see here. So Hitler would be at the top. And then this is only showing the military, but we could also include the rest of the state. Underneath him was the Navy, the Luftwaffe, and the Army. So the military. And then separate from that was the Schutzstaffel, the SS. And the SS formed a separate hierarchy from the rest of the state. And they were loyal and only took orders from Hitler. So they could be used, because they weren't in the traditional state hierarchy, they could be used to beat the rest of the state into submission, and could be used almost extrajudicially in a lot of ways against the civilians of the state. I mean, any civilians and things like that. Okay. So what we see happening here is we have not fully, I don't think, and I could be wrong, we have not fully seen ICE become separate from the state. It is not directly separate from the bureaucratic structure. All right, it isn't yet. Well, it kind of is. I don't think we've gotten to the level of Nazi Germany, but it is still pretty much loyal to Trump, because it's basically directly controlled by who is it, Christy Nome or whatever. But it's pretty close. It's pretty close. And it might even be there by now. All right. So ICE, however, is being used. Yeah, exactly. Gluteomyalgia. They're acting like it. ICE has not necessarily been used yet to beat the state into submission as much as it's being used to beat civilians into submission and to go after political opponents and things like that. I will say this, though. It's certainly the Trump himself is definitely protecting ICE from any blowback by going after any members of the state that are fighting against ICE, like Tim Walz, who the DOJ is now announcing a investigation into. So the DOJ is being used as a weapon to go after anyone who pushes back against ICE, which basically gives ICE free reign, right? Yeah, no, and you're right, Glutamag. And fascism doesn't always appear the same way, but we're definitely very close. Yeah. Bovino, correct. Bovino's most likely calling the shots, absolutely. And it doesn't really matter, folks, if there's extra layers between Trump and ICE in our scenario. It doesn't mean it's good. I'm just saying it's not exactly the same, but that's not good. All right. Sorry, I need to eat some eggs. Okay. No, Meowsword. No, definitely doesn't understand military strategy. Not at all. So, okay. Do we see my concern here? In both these cases, we had a prior paramilitary that is now being co-opted by the state, becoming part of the official government and used as an enforcement mechanism. We also are starting to see ICE is not exactly the same as the SS in that it is, and not exactly the same in that it takes direct orders from Trump. We could debate this, but it is kind of becoming separate from the state, and that all of its actions are kind of separate from the punishment of the state. Okay, you see what I mean? So, where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? Just repeat again what Timothy Snyder said, the game is over if that happens, right? The fascists have basically taken over. All right. Yeah, that's fair, Dolly Boy. Okay. And that means that the state will begin using violence against us, or, okay, that might happen. They already are, right? I want to point out that today a judge came out and ruled that ICE could no longer arrest peaceful protesters. By the way, kind of disturbing that a judge actually had to say that. Like, why would a judge need to say that? Like, that's such an obvious fact. Hello, Asmit, welcome. It's such an obvious fact. It's disturbing that a judge has to say, oh, by the way, you can't arrest peaceful protesters, ICE. And we also know that Trump has excused, or at least in the past, they've ignored a lot of court rulings. So we're kind of at a point here, right, Meowzord? We're kind of at a point here where if they don't listen to that judge's order, what's stopping them from doing whatever the hell they want, whenever they want? Because that, right, you see what I mean? I mean, we're kind of already at that point, but this is another sort of point where we'll see if they actually have some strength, if they have the strength to disobey that. Because I still maintain the Trump administration still doesn't fully have complete control because I haven't seen a sort of clear delineation yet. But if they ignore this, then it's pretty obvious they have complete control. Okay. All right. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? All right. Yeah, we can do a Haymarket affair sometime there, Luke. So this is just something to think about. We haven't really talked about this in terms of reference to fascism, but on a future quiz, by the way, there is a strong link. I'm just going to write this down. Most fascist regimes rely on paramilitaries, okay? Fascism and paramilitarism is basically synonymous. There's a lot of paramilitaries in fascist regimes. Okay. So just something to think about. Fascism equals paramilitaries. And we're definitely seeing that. So on any future quiz I do, there might be a question about paramilitaries and fascism. I know it's kind of depressing to even talk about a quiz when we're talking with how serious what we're talking about is, but just something to think about. Okay, as one of the great inspirations said, John Marshall has made a decision. Exactly, Dolly Boy. Exactly. Okay, so this is just something kind of scary to think about. Yeah, Asma, we do cahoots. Uh, we do cahoots once in a while. That's sort of a every 2 weeks we do a cahoot. So that'll be next weekend. We'll do a cahoot. All right. So all right, just something to think about. That was really concerning to me. Okay. All right. Now, real fast here, I made some notes here just to show you guys some things. Yeah, the DOJ has announced that it's investigating Tim Walz. So basically using it. That's okay. So by the way, Asmit, it is a quiz. It's a quiz and a review for the quiz at the same time. Okay. So DOJ investigates Tim Walz. So that's another fascist move. Trump going after the governor of Minnesota because he's been disobedient to the regime, even though he's barely done much to be disobedient. Okay. Yeah, G man. Timothy Snyder's a brilliant man, absolutely brilliant. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I recommend everyone look up Timothy Snyder. I got to meet him once. He's also a really nice guy, like really nice guy, but like extremely smart. Like he'll talk to you and you'll be like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Because he just is very bright. Okay. So this is like, yeah. Oh, why did I say investigates? That is, I spelled that wrong. We'll fix that. Thank you, Luke, very much. Luke, I can't do After Dark tonight, though. I'm sorry to say. Well, actually, I might be able to. If we get to 10, maybe we'll do an After Dark, okay? So, all right, Minneapolis. Another thing happened here. Minneapolis judge bars ICE from arresting protesters. This is going to be a very key point here, folks. My God, Jamil, thank you so much for the $20, Jamil. Really, really, thank you. Off topic, but not sure if this has been discussed yet. But Tallarico or Crockett, as a resident of San Antonio, I so Jamil, I need to look more into Tallarico. My initial thought, Jamil, is you have to understand though, Jamil. I'm very cynical about these things. I don't trust Tallarico because one of his big donors are the Adelsons, who are very pro-Israel and are like not the best people in the world at all. But I need to look more into him. I don't know enough about him yet. For Jasmine Crockett, I also really like Jasmine Crockett. I especially like her style in terms of how she approaches politics verbally and things like that. She is not as uncorrupt as I would like, but they're definitely better than a lot of the folks out there. All right. But I still think we need more change than just the same politicians. Now I need to look more into Tallarico, and I need to look more into Jasmine Crockett's. You know what, guys? Real fast, let's look into Jasmine Crockett. You all know who Jasmine Crockett is. Let's do it right now. Open secrets. Let's take a look at who donates to Crockett. Okay, Jasmine. She also, and I know this is kind of hard to, okay, let's take a look. Okay, that doesn't look too bad so far. I don't know what, so that's a Troost Financial health professional. She gets a lot from securities and investment, but let's see how much she gets overall. So it looks okay. You know what? She doesn't look that bad. I say that because she's majority of her donations come from small individual contributions, which means she's probably pretty beholden to her small donors. She still does get a lot of big individual contributions, but that doesn't look bad to me. Okay, so that's not as bad as others. She gets a lot of small individual contributions. So that's not bad. All right. Is it perfect? No, but it's still better than most of the other Democrats. All right. Again, folks, though, I would advocate for more than she doesn't get anything from Israel, it looks like. That's good, at least, as far as I can tell. Yeah, she's not getting much from the big companies, so that's not bad. But we need some more changes. But about Tallarico, I don't know. I'd have to look more into him. Okay. Thank you, Jamil. All right. So let me go back to this. I wanted to show you all something. By the way, folks, I know I'm sounding very dark today, but I feel it's necessary. It is not like this is well known. It does not take much to go from a concentration camp or detainment camp to a death camp. Okay. I'm sorry, dead inside. What'd you say? Dead inside. Good morning. Seriously, if I don't see universal health care on your back, I'm out. Oh God, yeah, dead inside. That's one of the things that enrages me the most. We need universal health care. It's barbaric. We don't have it. Okay. So I wanted to read you all this. All right. So at 6:15, Jack Kovaric revs up their SUV and snakes through the ice-covered streets of South Minneapolis, eye scanning for federal immigration agents. The neighborhood where Renee Good was killed by a federal officer has been eerily quiet. The bus stops are depleted of early shift workers. Okay. By 7 a.m., a contingency of parents, I'm going to put this up here, a contingency of parents is walking their kids to kindergarten and elementary school down its usual bustling size to just one or two parents. So only two parents are walking now. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My brain. Let me take a step back. It does not take much to go from a concentration or detainment camp into a death camp. It just doesn't. It really doesn't. And so I'm deeply concerned because we're seeing detention camp type conditions for people, and it doesn't take much to go from one to the other. Okay. I know I completely lost my train of thought there, but I'll talk more about that. Okay. Let me finish this real fast. Okay. So there's not many parents left taking their kids to school. The immigrant neighbors and friends are too afraid to leave their homes, so they're not taking their kids to school anymore. As the sun rises, there are volunteers on nearly every corner of the neighborhood, clutching bright orange whistles. They blow them all in unison when they spot what looks like an immigration and customs enforcement vehicle. This is community protection that we need to engage in. So these communities in Minneapolis are working together to keep people safe. All right. Make no mistake, this is an occupation, said Angela Cawley. Okay, Angela Conley, a commissioner for Hennepin County, which includes Minneapolis. Their presence has transformed the Twin Cities. It is affecting every aspect of daily life, right? Federal agents who have said they are seeking to arrest undocumented immigrants with criminal and dangerous backgrounds have been using escalating aggressive tactics to detain U.S. and tribal citizens, as well as legal residents, refugees, and longtime Minnesotans without any criminal record. The American Civil Liberties Union has filed class action lawsuit on behalf of Minnesotans who are racially and ethnically profiled. We are living in a nightmare, said Kate, a teacher at Minnesota Public Schools. It's dystopian. The Guardian is not using her full name to protect her students. All right. I'm too scared to go outside. I'm too scared of them, said Daisy Martinez, whose husband, Thomas Martinez Giorgio, was arrested on New Year's Eve in the suburb of Brooklyn Park. The couple have been pulled over by agents while driving their 6-year-old son to the hospital for a tonsillectomy. Okay. While her son was in the back seat, multiple agents pinned her to the car and took Thomas. It's almost as if he was kidnapped, she said. Okay. I really want to point out, the reason I'm telling you this is because this is the terror, the abject terror that people are living through in Minnesota right now. They don't want to take their kids to school. They've developed these protection networks where they help signal each other when there's ice nearby. People are disappearing. That is not a joke. People are disappearing. All right. You know, yesterday, Meowzord actually sent something on the stream. I think it would be a good time to show it to all of you if I can find it. Meowzord, do you have access to that? You sent a video of a woman yelling about her neighbors disappearing. If I can go back and find it really fast. I made the mistake. I don't want to say it's a mistake, but I made the mistake, folks, of trying to engage in some empathy and try and feel how these people are feeling in Minnesota. And it was almost kind of traumatizing of a practice to engage in at this point. Trying to find here if I can find that. Yeah, you remember, Luke? Do you remember where it was? If I can pull it up, that'd be great. Maybe it's in the media section. I don't know. It's somewhere. Okay. Regardless, maybe I'll show that later if I can find it. But this woman, very disturbed by what she's seeing happen around her, screaming in fear about her friends disappearing around her, about how no one seems to be doing anything, no one seems to care. And yeah, it's just not a good situation right now in Minnesota, especially. One last thing I'm going to try finding here. I don't see it now. That's okay. Shit. Okay. Well, I don't want to try too hard at the moment. Maybe I'll find it later. Okay. So it's just not looking good right now, guys. So thank you so much. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, maybe I'll find it. The video is deleted. Damn it. Okay. That sucks, Meowzord. All right. Never mind. So okay. I know, Sir Bartholomew. I know. Anyway, so this is this is just scary to me. And it's really weird, guys. I'm going to put my face up here for a second. It's very weird to me how I studied this shit. Like, I studied fascism, and then I've been having tons of revelations living through it that have made what happened in the past more understandable. And it's disturbing to see how these things happen. And it's weird because, I've read in history how these things happen, and a lot of people are like, we didn't see it coming. It happened so quickly. And it's so true. Like, even me knowing the history, it's like, oh my God, it happened so quickly, and it kind of just slips in. Like, I have not necessarily been directly affected by it, which has made it less impending, even though it has been impending. You see what I mean? So okay, you guys need to see this. I'll put this up. I think this is important to watch. Thank you, Meowzord. Okay.
With each other for a second.
You guys,
Let's be fucking honest with each other for a second. Let's be really for real. I understand that yelling at a phone screen about the situation doesn't actually do anything to change the situation, but if you want to get into it, my neighbor is missing. There's a girl that lives in the apartment directly across the way from me. I have not seen her in 2 months. Nobody has. Her car is still in the parking lot. Her family, nobody can get in contact with them. I have no idea where my neighbor is. Do you know where your neighbor is? Have you knocked on the door to check? Have you called around to see where your people are? Do you give a fuck? Have you looked around? Can you take your head out of your ass everyone in this country, if you're right-leaning or normal, is going, how the fuck did we get here? Nobody's happy. You want to know how we got here? Our fucking choices. Because you couldn't be bothered. Because it wasn't that deep. Is it still not that deep? Renee Good was murdered. Keith Porter was murdered. ICE is a terroristic organization that is killing and kidnapping your neighbors. You're right. Yelling at a phone screen doesn't do anything. Because when we get on TikTok, we want to use words like,
Sizzle.
oh, she was unalived
Welcome.
and they were taken and it was bad. Stop censoring yourself. They were murdered. They were murdered by terrorists. By domestic terrorists that are supported and funded by the United States of America's government. And it is fucked. And if you're not angry, I genuinely don't think you have a place on this earth anymore. Oh, that's brash. 2 people were murdered, and I'm brash. Oh,
I'm sorry, not the
fuck
sizzle.
you. Do you know why Anne Frank hid in an attic? Because they were knocking door to door looking for them. Now they're saying that ICE is going to get to come to your door and knock. Are you fucking serious? We're defending the actions of Hitler in modern day times. This from America, who supposedly pulled everybody out of World War II? If we make it out of this, America
Meowser, 100%.
should have the grasp that it has on the world stage. And honestly, we don't deserve a global pot to piss in. I love this country, but I would rather see it burn to the ground than function through oligarchy and fascism. Fuck y'all. Let's be fucking honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel her. And she's right. Yeah, I love the passion. And yeah, and guys, compare this to what Meowser, like to Tim Walz's press conference, to the press conference that the Democrats gave yesterday. All right? Compare these things. Compare it. Because it's not a threat to them, right? It's a threat to us. It's a threat to our neighbors. It's a threat to our loved ones. There are people disappearing off the streets. There are people being murdered in the streets. Yeah, and like there's anyway. So, and don't worry, guys. I know people are saying I should have seen it coming or whatever, but I did see it coming. I'm just saying the speed at which it happened was rather shocking. Okay, you know, you don't really get to feel the time scale of something until you're living in it, right? And because historically we have the power of hindsight, you know, you tend to imagine Nazis as horrible monsters because they were, but it makes you imagine that you will see the monsters coming. But you don't, because the monsters are oftentimes, they don't look the same. Let's put it that way. And yeah. We are going to be considered, yep, the official position of the government is nothing without the people. Correctly, gluteomyalgia, absolutely. I know, Alyssa, it blows my mind. It is, so, okay. She's right. She's absolutely right. Yeah, you're right, Big Braden. They were in power for a while. They were, absolutely were. So, let me read here. Meowsert, you have a good point. Meowsert has a really good point, all right? Meow there, Ice, meow. Meowsert says, I also think this is an important point. It's not necessarily community. My online Discord friends. Absolutely. So Meowsert has a good point, guys. We have an online community here. We have the Discord, which I think everyone here should join. At the same time, guys, you that is not the community you need to focus on. And what I mean is you should organize literally locally, physically on the ground with your neighbors and things like that. We are seeing a bunch of people do that across the country. There are several cities where neighbors are forming like networks where we just read about one that has started whistling whenever they see ICE come nearby, etc. So you make it hard for them, okay, as much as you can. And is it possible? You know, I don't even want to say that, but I'll stop for a second. It has been fast paced, hasn't it, Luke? And the thing is that I don't even want to say that. I'm not sure my point I'm making here. This has been happening for decades. We have slowly seen an erosion of civil liberties and a consolidation of power underneath the president. After 9/11, we saw massive increases in the power of the federal government. We can go all the way back. It's been happening slowly for decades. It's been death by a thousand cuts, which has made it uh, easier for us to slide right into it. But it is like, it's still rather shocking to experience it, regardless of whether we saw it coming or not. All right. Yeah, exactly, guys. So I think people need to start taking. There you go, gluteomyalgia. Mithril. When I was little, Dad went to a conference in Germany. I had nightmares about parrot-beaked SS officers chasing Dad around a city in flames. Oh my God. Oof. I get that, Mithril. My mom was in Asheville during the hurricane and flooding. It was next door neighbors who fed one another and supported each other, not the government or emergency responders. Absolutely, Meowzord. Druzilla, I heard two gangs make temporary peace. Absolutely. That would happen in Chicago, Druzilla. I think it was the Crips and the Bloods. I could be wrong. Made peace to resist the federal government. Okay. We just need to be aware that this stuff is happening, folks, because it could come to your city next. And we have what, 3 more years of Trump? I mean, it's not like we're near the end of this yet. And we already see where this is going. And I'm saying as a historian that we should be deeply concerned, because God knows what'll come next. We also have right wing influencers openly calling for the punishment of Minneapolis, saying that we need to punish the entire city. The federal government should punish the entire city of Indianapolis for being disobedient to the state. I believe that was Matt Walsh that said that. We are seeing, yeah, exactly, Drusilla. We are seeing people, literally right wingers, calling for mass Darth Vader level punishments of entire cities who defy the government. And they do it with this cutesy little smile on their face. Yeah, guys, it might be more. It might be more than 3 years. But at very least, it's 3 years. Okay. So I'm just saying, be careful. Be aware of this. And it's not looking good, especially now that the paramilitaries have blended with the state in a lot of ways. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, I know. I know, guys. You still there? Not the sizzle. You still got to wait to chat. I'm sorry, in the sizzle. Hopefully, you'll be here soon. Yep, Inhumane Society, 100%. Same thing happened to the Jews just 76 years ago, and the same sort of thing happened, guys. The same sort of thing. There were a lot of Jewish folks who I've read the documents of who were surprised that it happened so quickly, or that like one day they may have been being discriminated against, but the next day they were on a train. You see what I mean? It is not so this death by a thousand cuts is not good. We have to understand that we can always say to ourselves it could be worse, but there's only one step from where we currently are to something so bad that it's unbelievable. You see what I mean? So, okay. And okay, Drusilla, it is possible. Is it possible they will stop that? Yeah, Drusilla, it's possible. I haven't seen it happen yet. Inhumane Society, do not feel embarrassed. Okay? Inhumane Society says, I'm embarrassed to be Jewish because Israel acts. Inhumane Society, you are not Israel. There's nothing wrong with being Jewish. Being a Jew does not mean being an Israeli. The Jewish people have an infinite number of things to be proud about. All right? They're a human being like anyone else. There's nothing to be, you have no reason to demonize yourself because of an action of a foreign government that claims to act on your behalf. And I'm sorry if people do think that because you're Jewish, you're somehow linked to the Israeli state. You are not. I just want to clarify that. Okay. All right. Mr. Peanuts. Mr. Peanuts, I'm from the UK and I'm confused. If I'm not mistaken, the majority of the US voted for this, and he said he would do this. Why is it a problem now? Mr. Peanuts, Peanuts, that's a very good question. It has a very complex answer. I've talked about it before on stream. For those who aren't from the US, you have to understand the people of the United States are suffering deeply underneath our economic system, underneath the system, our system of government. Trump presents himself as someone who is anti-establishment, who wants to enact change, very similar to what Hitler did. So people vote for Trump out of a desire for change, and he at least faked. He is a fake populist. He tries to present himself as someone who's going to change things. And he uses scapegoating. So he blames minorities, just like Hitler did. He blames trans people, migrants, and things like that. He was able to get a lot of suffering people on the United States on board, a lot of people who want change. And then the other party, which was the Democratic Party, are essentially still corporate hack. I mean, they're both corporate hacks, but they don't appear to want to challenge authority. So, and they appear to be part of the establishment. So people didn't vote for them. Because the Democratic Party refuses to change their line because they're corrupt, just like the Republicans. So there was a lot of reasons. That does not mean that that's what Americans want. As a matter of fact, the majority of Americans don't like Trump. But we don't have a real democracy here. That's the problem. That is the problem. We don't have a real democracy. All right. If we had a real democracy, there'd be more than two parties. Okay. We also have a lot of issues with our voting system to, not to go too much into this. Okay, anyway. All right. 6 out of 10 people want to beat you up. Why do you care if you're getting your ass kicked? Yeah, exactly. I know, Meowzord. So, and I want to point out that it doesn't make it not a problem, right? Like, just because a majority of people may have voted for Trump doesn't mean that it's my bad. No, you have no. Hey, Mr. Peanuts, you do not need to apologize. Okay, the American government lies. We claim to be the most democratic country on earth. We're not. We're not a democracy. We're an oligarchy. All right. Our votes don't really matter in the end because the two parties are both bought out by the wealthy and the powerful. So even if we elect one of them, they're not working on our interests anyway. But that's no problem. Peanuts, I got you. Okay. The problem is that like 20 to 30%, they worship him, G-Man. Okay. This is a very complex issue, but Mr. Peanuts, please, Peanuts, do not apologize. I'm glad you asked. It's just that it'll take multiple streams to explain this, but it's very complicated why this has happened and things like that. Regardless, folks, the point is that it's here now, and we need to do something about it. Yep, he did, Inhumane Society. He completely lied. Yep, Mithril. It's very complicated here in the U.S. It's not to say it's not complicated elsewhere, but yeah, Mithril. All right. Yeah, the Electoral College is a sham. Yeah, exactly, Grant. Welcome, Grant. Okay, welcome, Grant, to the chat here. So we need to do something about it now. Now, folks, I wanted to show you this brief video. Doug shared this. I believe it was Doug that shared this over on the Discord. There are some people engaging in organizing. Now, I am going to critique some of what she says, but I want to point out what they're doing right. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what she's doing right first. So please don't immediately judge her for some of the things we may disagree with in her approach. I will critique those things, but let's first look at what she's doing right, okay?
So I just got off of a call with organizers from all across the country, led by organizers in Minnesota, about what are next steps. And I want to give you just a couple of the top lines. It was an amazing call. I feel so inspired and just hopeful because of the incredible sort of coalition that is forming to protect our communities. Basically, the top lines are that they feel that we have crossed a red line moment. It is time for...
Grant, I think we should bring back... Grant Hindle, I completely agree with you. I would even go further. I think he needs more than a prison cell, but I won't go into that.
Mass unity and mass action. They feel really confident that if we do that, we can prevail, but this is going to take all of us. Now, it's starting in Minnesota. They are doing a big work walkout on the 23rd. They've gotten most of the unions on board, which is a really big deal. A lot of the students will be participating. They're getting organizational participation. They are also organizing clergy. Right now, clergy are organizing in small groups of 4 or 5, and they are visiting targets all across the state. What they are asking for, and what they have now achieved, is a meeting with Target's CEO, which they're having on Monday, to demand that Target stop letting ICE stage in their parking lots, which they're doing all across Minnesota. Also stop letting them into their stores to abduct people. This is the kind of collective organizing that is starting to happen. A lot of clergy are getting involved with what's happening in Minnesota because clergy are always on the front lines when human rights abuses are happening. We're also organizing a day of action around a few corporations who right now are complicit with ICE. And each corporation will get one day where everybody's going to focus on asking them to stop being complicit. Because corporations have the ability to keep ICE out of cities and states. Look at what happened in San Francisco because all the big
Again,
tech
folks,
CEOs
try to
said,
see
"We
what
don't
she's
want
doing,
ICE
what
here."
they're doing
They listened.
right.
So we're going to be pushing corporations more. Of course, we're continuing our push on Congress to get them to not give DHS the funding, not pass that funding bill until major reforms have happened with ICE. And we are making progress with that. So the big three demands are congressional reform of ICE using that DHS funding, accountability for the officer who murdered
What,
Renee
Gluteal?
Good. And
I'm
the
sorry.
third demand is that companies and businesses start helping to protect the people who shop at their companies and businesses. So
Okay, thank you, Fox
there's a
Ellen.
lot more coming, but I want you to know that
Hello,
we are
SoCal.
ramping up into a new level of peaceful resistance. This is where we are going to start to see people power accomplish what almost nothing else can, but everybody needs to be involved. Nobody is going to save us but us, but we can totally do this. So follow along, and I will keep you apprised of actions as they come up. Minnesota, we fucking love you. Maine, they're coming to you next. They're coming to all of us next. So it's time to get organized and stand up to this together. Love you guys.
Kunduz
So-
Hospital.
Yeah, Meowsword. So let's talk. Trust me, a lot of gluteomyalgia. You're not wrong. I 100% agree. Gluteomyalgia. We did not go far enough during the Nuremberg trials. So, okay, what are they doing right, folks? This group is now again. We're going to talk about all that's wrong with this. I know exactly, Alyssa. What do we feel that she's doing right first? I know. Let's let our lefty brains calm down for 1 second. Of course. We need to quickly say, what is she doing right? Organizationally. Organizationally, what are they doing right here? They have clear demands, right? There are clear demands happening. Those three clear demands that they have, right? Yes, there are clear demands. They are organizing. So they're actually establishing forms of connection amongst each other in order to act in concert, are they not? Okay. Yeah, Glutio, I see that. All right. They have a specific approach that they're taking. All right. They have a strategy for what they're doing. Okay. And again, they're coordinating. So those are three things that they are doing that I feel are useful, right? They have clear goals. They are acting in concert and they're organized. Yeah. Clear, exactly, Alyssa. Clear instructions, very true. Okay, clear instructions. It's a community-based approach. Clear instructions, and also optimism. All right, there's a sense of optimism there. All right. Okay. Now, that is a good way. Those are some good organizational strategies, some good ways of approaching stuff. There are big issues with the strategy, though, right? Meowsword, you know it's a long list. There are some big issues with this strategy. Have we not learned by now that it's almost impossible to have success within the system? Yelling at corporations to stop, to prevent ICE from finding places that they can organize might be somewhat helpful, but it's not going to do much. Not only that, what are their follow-up demands? Yeah, what are their follow-up demands? So what will happen if they don't get their way? There's nothing here. There is nothing here to say so then what's the threat? What will happen if those demands aren't met? All right? Yeah, they don't give a shit, Meowsword, right? Like these are I think it's a very weak strategy, but it is a strong organizational approach. Weak strategy, pretty strong organizational approach. Do we understand what I'm saying here? Okay. And also, why do we need to declare we're not being violent before we even have done anything violent? What I mean by that is, why did she have to say we're going to be doing it peacefully, like she's criticizing people out there? Or it's almost like she's giving away the game to the people in power. Don't worry, we will never actually resist you in force, right? It's all going to be peaceful. Like, even if you do intend to be peaceful, you shouldn't say that. Okay, you should leave open the possibility, the threat of something worse coming. Like, Okay. Regardless, I do like that there are set demands here, right? We need set demands. I just wish the strategy for those demands and what we're demanding would be different, okay, or better. Uh, okay. And I think the people who are doing community organizing are much more important at this point than things like that, okay? Because we need defense. We need to defend ourselves at this point. I got to be honest with you.
Airstrike.
Okay, we got to defend ourselves. Yeah, Sir Bartholomew. Okay, like the Onion headline, protesters urge not to give Trump administration the pretext for what he's currently doing. Exactly. Okay. ICE. I saw a bunch of veterans in an army sort of setting Pledge of Allegiance to the flag in the U.S. Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. SoCal, let's be honest. We could sit in a circle around a pile of roses and pillows singing Kumbaya, and they'll exactly, SoCal, exactly. Right? That's the other thing too, folks. At this point, does it really matter if protesters are violent or not violent? They're gonna say we're violent no matter what we do. They already are. Remember, they've already designated all of us in here as Antifa terrorists. I mean, I'm not maybe not all of us, but we've already been designated because a lot of us are left on the political spectrum. Not all of us, but a lot of us are included in those list of things that the Trump administration is already declaring as. You see what I mean? I'm sorry, gluteal myalgia. I don't know why. Yeah, but you're right, Fox Emblem. Probably all of us here are. I'm saying that, Fox Emblem, because God knows what trolls are lurking in the background. But okay. Yeah, exactly, Big Brain. And so, anyway, but it is interesting. I like some of those approaches, but we have to think bigger than that. All right. So, what was I going to do? I forget what I was going to say now. Yeah, there's a list of people who grieve about Trump. This is so far beyond Hitler. Yeah. So you said Fox Emblem, you sent me something here. Where did you put it, Fox Emblem? Is it in the react? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see it. All right. I want to point something else out, folks. And I know, guys, today is kind of a doom and gloom stream. Forgive me. Forgive me. Okay. Forgive me for that. I know. Gluteal myalgia, I don't know why. You should be able to post over on Twitch, okay? I actually read this too, Fox Emblem. We need to be very clear, folks. We need to be very clear about what's happening, right? Something that hasn't been being talked about as much is even if the Trump administration wasn't in charge, we are on the edge of global climate catastrophe, the likes of which we've never seen before. I have said on previous streams that I am not exaggerating when I say that the Republican Party and maybe even partially the Democratic Party are two of the most dangerous organizations in human history, because if they continue to allow climate change and continue to push us towards war with other countries and things like that, the results will be much worse than whatever happened during the Holocaust in terms of the mass death and things like that, okay? Regardless, I wanted to read you something. Fox Lemon just sent this. I actually read this previously, but one set of projections from a new paper on climate change, okay, however, conformed more closely to those from earlier study. Predictions using statistical models applied to the first 30 years of climate suggests that the Arctic could be ice-free in the decade of 2030 to 2040. The satellite observation suggests that Arctic sea ice depletion is accelerating, while the climate model projections generally show a linear rather than accelerating rate of decline. That implies that climate models may be collectively underestimating the rate of change. Therefore, one can argue that there is still room for improvement for the sea ice submodels. So the point here being, folks, is that, the point here, folks, is that we are still barreling headfirst towards climate catastrophe, which will have global deadly implications, cause mass migrations of people, likely spark wars over resources. And that is unabated because of this distraction we have of the orange Mussolini, the mango Mussolini in office. Okay, so we got that to worry about coming around too. Yeah, Asmit, 100% Asmit. Thank you. Asmit. Asmit mentioned something that I've heard other people say, but thank you for reminding me, Asmit. You also understand, too, that there's all these big tech companies now trying to build massive data centers, which are heavy energy intensive centers that draw in tons of electric power, which will require much more many more outputs of fossil fuels. All right. Like, I don't know what else to say there, but I don't see how this is going to get better. As a matter of fact, I showed all of you this. I don't know if I showed this to you. Not, oh, God. Oh, my God. I did. Oh, my God. No. Wrong button. There we go. Okay. So this is a okay, let me find it. So I've been watching some of Elon Musk's shit. Okay. Elon Musk posted this shit. I'm trying to find it here. Okay. He was bragging about this. He said the Colossus 2 supercomputer for Grok is now operational. Okay. The Colossus 2 supercomputer for Grok is now, wow, it must be a privilege to accidentally click that and not need an online ID for it. Oh my God, I know. Right, Dolly Boy. Okay, you saw that. Jesus Christ. This is, by the way, my professional account, so I don't know why that would. Anyway, okay. So here we go. First gigawatt. Okay, so he's bragging about how they're opening up a new data center, that will be 1.5 gigawatts in April. And he's bragging about it. And he's bragging about the fact that this center is, okay. I'm trying to see here. Oh, that's more electricity than the peak demand of San Francisco. And he's bragging about it. All right. He's bragging about how he's going to be opening up this thing that has more electricity than San Francisco. Okay. So meanwhile, by the way, people like Gavin Newsom, the folks that are supposed to, who's going to probably become the next presidential candidate for the Democrats, are saying that he refuses to increase taxes on the wealthy. So good. Yeah, I know, Malzert, at this point. So, and by the way, this morning, I was sort of obsessed with going through some of Elon Musk's posts because, dear God, he's like psychotic beyond all belief. All this talk about going to Mars, going to space and shit like that. What is he doing? Like, we have a disaster. I think it's because he and all the elites want to escape the planet that they know they're about to destroy, but Jesus Christ. No, Luke, this is a work account. So I think I just typed in, it went to that. Anyway, you know what I mean. Okay. That's not to say I don't do that, Luke. I'm just saying definitely not on this account, if that makes sense. All right. Okay. So, all right. So I don't know. So guys, we are on the edge of a cliff and we have fascism taking over in the United States. We have the American empire lashing out. We have climate change right around the corner. We have out of control elites who really ought to be brought to a goddamn a machine that helps the everyone with the problem of the elites. Let's put it that way. You can read about the French Revolution. And my point being, like, this is not good. Okay. I don't know what else to say. Right. Thank you, Fox Emblem. I was so close, Fox Emblem. You know, I'm so close to Fed posting. Yeah, they don't care about the climate. No. And guys, they're destroying everyone. For all the people out there in the UK, you know this too. American elites are destroying your future also, right? Like, our elites are destroying everyone, killing everyone. They are the most anti-human people in the planet. All right. Thank you, Ice. That's a better way of putting it. Okay. So, all right. Real fast here. I wanted to show you something else. Elon Musk, of course, bragging about how they're trying to build the future in terms of going to space, as if there is a future left to build. Okay. Guys, these are the degenerates in charge of our future right now that we're letting happen. Yeah, we do, Resident Union Thug. That we need to view them as enemies. I'm sorry, folks. We need to view these people as enemies. They're not on our side. All right. I don't know what else to say. We need people angry about it. We need people to do something about it. I wanted to show you this too. This was sent by, I
Passing
really like
front and
Jennifer Welch, by the way. Love Jennifer Welch. Love Jennifer Welch. Okay. By the way, folks, I'm not putting on the hat or collar today. I'm just not in the mood. I'm sorry. I don't feel like it being in a jestering mood today because of everything going on. So pardon me for that. I do accept donations, of course. Thank you for everyone who has donated already. We, if you like the content, I got to do my little self promotion. Forgive me, even though the world's about to fall apart. Okay, if you like my content, you become a member on YouTube for as little as 99 cents a month, or you can join me on Twitch and you can become a subscriber over there for free. If you have Amazon Prime, you can send me some of Jeff Bezos's money and help redistribute the wealth. That's how I'm framing it to me. Okay, so or you can become a subscriber over on Twitch in a regular way, in which case, either way, you won't have to see ads over there. All right. And really appreciate people who donate, etc. Helps allowing me to do this full time. I actually forgot to put the I forgot to put up my income from last month. I will do that. But I'm actually doing I'm getting more than I did last month. So for those that are worried about it, I am doing better this month than I was last month. But anyway, okay. Can I put this in the corner of the screen? What in the corner of the screen? Forgive me there, Ice. All right. Hello, Hedonic Samuel. Welcome back, Hedonic Treadmill. Okay. So anyway, moving on. Also, please join our Discord if you haven't already. We have a very fast-going community on there. We discuss all these things. We talk about all kinds of things. It's a great community. By the way, congratulations to Doug and to to Doug and to who else? Thank you, Matt Saigai. Really. One second here. I need to put this up here. So this is the link to our Discord for anyone who's interested. Thank you to Doug, to Fox Emblem, and to Luke, who are now honorary members, which literally means nothing except that they get a golden name if they want it, though Fox Emblem, of course, is already a mod, so that won't change his name. But that is okay. And then also, it's sort of honorary because you've been in the community a long time. Okay, no gesturing. I sent an Episcopal bishop on Discord. Thank you, Luke. Okay, thank you. Sounds excellent. We'll take a look at that. So Luke is also. Thank you, Dolly Boy. Guys, thank you for all the donations, really. Okay, so let's take a look at what. First, let's watch this. Then I'll go watch what you sent, Luke. Thank you. All right. So Matt Saigai, thank you so much. As always, Matt Saigai coming in clutch for the community. Okay. So thank you so much, Matt Saigai. All right. Okay. All right. So let's as always, Matt Saigai, thank you for those 5 memberships. A bunch of people just got gifted memberships. Please thank Matt Saigai for that. So this was from a right-wing X account, all right? It says here that weaponization. Democrat activists Jennifer Welch and Jim Acosta say mass prosecutions of Trump and the Republicans would be necessary for national reconciliation when the Democrats regain power. I agree. So this right-winger is criticizing her for saying this, what I think is a fact, okay? So no, it means something, Luke. I'm just saying, like, it means it's honorary, right? It's not like you get anything for it. It's just that it's honorary because you're an established member of the community. If you get an honorary status, it's like you've been in the community a long time. You've done a lot of contributions and things like that. I'm just joking, as in it's sort of symbolic. It's not like it doesn't come really with any perks, okay? Right? But we love you, Luke. That's why, okay? So, okay. Now, I think that's a great idea. I agree. We better have accountability after this regime ends, because otherwise, what will just happen again if it ends, right? So, totally base take here by Jennifer Welch. Yeah, it makes you feel special. There you go. Okay, totally. There you go, Meowzord. Okay, it's like being gifted the Nobel Peace Prize from someone who won it. Okay, so let's see what Jennifer Welch has to say here. Again, this was posted to criticize her. I completely agree with her. I love, by the way, Jennifer Welch. Love Jennifer Welch. Thank you, SoCal. Thank you very much.
is the
Yes.
blue tsunami means that Congress is going to haul Elon Musk, big balls, and a bunch of other people's ass in front and say, what crimes did you commit? And it's going to get really serious. And the same with Trump, because I believe, and this is just my opinion, that Trump and all of the bottom feeding morons surrounding him and Elon Musk and all the
By the way, I love Jennifer Welch. I love her. She is brilliant. I also just like her passion and how she goes after anyone she's interviewing. She's one of the strongest interviewers I've seen in a while. Like, she goes after people. Okay. And she might be, I don't know how left wing she is. Honestly, I don't really care. I should. I think she's liberal, isn't she? But regardless, she's very strong talker. Okay.
bottom feeding clinger honors that surround.
Okay, I thought so, Matt Saigai. Yeah. But again, Matt Saigai, please forgive me. I know she's a lib, but like, I deeply appreciate her strength and things like that. And I can imagine her radicalizing pretty quickly if she had to.
Him. I think they commit crimes every day. And I think to reconcile all of this is going to take hardcore, not integrity Democrats. Fuck you, Democrats. Fuck you for fucking over our country. We are serious about this. We are prosecuting. We're going to uncover every document, every phone call, everything you did. We will be relentless about it. And that's the mindset they've got to have, because I think the electorate is going from, we've got to get him out, but also we want accountability.
There has to be accountability. You have to have a situation where there's accountability. And I talked about this the other day with Fanone, the former MPD police officer who almost got killed on January 6th. You know, he said, and I think it's true, that it's more than just the Dems win back the Congress and the White House. We have to change this John Roberts Supreme Court decision that gave the President of the United States a blank check. No man or woman should be above the law in this country. And Donald Trump.
Guys, again, these are two libs. So, but this is pretty strong coming from libs, I got to tell you. And I suspect that as things get worse, they will move further to the left. At least she will.
I'm sure as shit should not be above the law in this country. And I think the Democrats have to talk about it in these terms, that, listen, if we get back in there, and I'm not saying I'm part of the Democratic Party, but I'm saying this is the way the Democrats should communicate. They should say when they're back in there, if you guys are going to cling to this idea that Donald Trump is unaccountable, it's just not going to work. And that means adding seats to the Supreme Court so that...
Yeah, see, they're calling for pretty strong actions that the Democrats should take. Now, obviously, I think we're kind of past that point, but regardless, this is an evolution that I'm happy to see.
This decision can be overturned, and so Donald Trump can be held accountable for his crime.
Okay, so that was interesting to me. I really like her. She's basically calling that we need Democrats who are going to just fight like hell, which, hey, if we get to that point. Right now, though, folks, I want to point out that's very far future thinking. Right now, we're in a crisis, and that action ain't going to help at this moment. I'm sorry, it isn't. The Democrats aren't going to do a damn thing. We've already seen it time and time again, right? So let's be clear that this is more of a future thing. We need more action right now. We need local organizing. We need resistance at the moment right now, okay? And, revolution would be nice. I got to tell you, I'm to that point where I'm like, revolution, maybe some revolution would be nice too, okay? Of course, I'm not calling for violence, folks. I would never do that, never. But we do need a revolution. I don't know what else to tell you. And by the way, if you think I am over-exaggerating on that point, a lot of Americans are feeling that way. I just watched a video yesterday. I've watched a video yesterday that showed how many Americans are now openly calling for it. All right? Okay? Openly calling for it. So, and I looked very carefully, by the way, at the laws around me saying that, and it turns out I'm scot-free, okay? I'm just, you're not supposed to call for violence, right? I want to point out. You're not supposed to call for direct violence. You're allowed to call for revolution, though, because revolutions can be peaceful. So let's be clear. We need a revolution. Okay? We need it. And, we can pussyfoot around for as long as possible, but in the end, it's just going to make the breakup harder. And over time, it'll be hard. It's really hard to have a political revolution when you have a boot on your neck. It is. For the lefties out there who think that we need to go far, far, far to the left to stop fascism, I remind you that if we try to go too far left and we scare people away from resisting fascism, the fascism will prevent us from ever achieving far left-wing goals. You see what I mean? So we might need to make some sacrifices of ideology here in order to resist fascism. Does that mean I think that moving to the left isn't something we absolutely need right now? No. I'm just saying we might need to kind of compromise in some ways. Okay. Okay. Force the after dark. Thank you, Luke, for that. Anyway. All right. I'm just going to say it now, folks. Now, I hope you all know that if I suddenly send you all a message on the Discord saying I've been black bagged and brought to an ICE detention center or to a police station, I do hope you all will advocate for me. And I'm only half joking when I say that. I know I'm sounding like I think I'm like in an action movie when I say that, but I am kind of nervous about saying it. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I do think we need that shit. Okay? Anyway, just to be clear. All right. And I want to point out, I've been nervous, guys. I've been nervous because I don't know if you guys heard, but there were ICE people who have literally, I've been seeing people comment. I got you, Sir Bartholomew. Okay. Yeah, guys, and I'm not, I'm going to put my face up here for a second. So, guys, I want to be very clear about something. Back on my first video I ever posted to YouTube was me warning that I'm worried that violence is going to break out in this country because of resistance. Okay, resistance to what the Trump administration is doing. Okay, I have made it very clear that that is the last thing I want is revolution, because dear God, that when those happen, that there's a lot of variables that can take over that can cause a lot of problems. And it should be a last resort in almost every case imaginable. It really should be. Because, we've talked about how revolutions often fail. A lot of it is the roll of the dice. It oftentimes does break into violence. It oftentimes results in vulnerable people being targeted. There are tons of guns in this country. If it gets out of hand, it can turn into a civil war. My point, though, is that at this point, I don't see another way. All right? And I just don't. I don't know what else to do here. It appears as though a national strike isn't going to happen, that could still happen. That's a form of revolution, but I don't know. Okay. So we just need to be clear-eyed about this. And there are tons of other Americans calling for this right now. Okay. I want to point that out. So we need a political revolution. Okay. All right. Yeah, Luke, I think academia has been studied that peaceful revolution has been more successful. Absolutely, Luke, they have. I want a peaceful revolution. I would love that. Okay. Okay, so Henry G, hello. What you think of Black Panthers outside of protecting folks? As a person of color, we done with protest. We are at the point of being far leftist. Far leftist? What do you mean, Henry G? I completely support the Black Panthers. And what I mean, Henry G, I'm far leftist. I want to point that out. I'm saying that as a historian, I can guarantee you, we cannot sacrifice the movement against fascism to go. We might need to make what's the term? Compromises. We might need a slow transition to socialism, if you know what I mean. Okay, this is not. I don't know if it's wise to turn this into the revolution, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Okay. We might need to, I'm not saying we have to, but we might need to be careful about not alienating people for the sake of numbers and things like that. Anyway. So making convincing argument for votes is not good enough. Stanley, how is that working right now? How is that working right now for us? We have the majority of Americans don't like Trump. He's doing a fascist crackdown on all of us. the last time we voting and shit, we don't even have real elections in the United States anyway. They're all bought out by corporate entities, and we're going headfirst into global climate catastrophe. We don't have a democracy, Stanley. I'm sorry, we don't. I don't know. You can look up all the stats I've talked about on stream before. We do not have a democracy. We live in an oligarchy. I want a democracy. So, Stanley, I would rather we return to a democracy or have a democracy than have an oligarchy at this point. And anyway, all right. Again, folks, I am not calling. Yeah, Stanley. Oh, I believe. Yes, Stanley, you're right. Trump won the election. We don't have a democracy, though. Okay. He won through whatever process that we use to choose who is in power, but it definitely isn't democratic because people have to choose between two corporately controlled parties. And the people who win the most are the ones who have the most money. That has been shown in like 98% of cases. The candidate who raises the most money wins, regardless of their talking points. It is simply not true that just because people vote, that it is democratic. It is not the case. We can also talk about gerrymandering. We can also talk about the Electoral College. We can talk about tons of different things. It is not a democracy. And I kind of am tired of people claiming it's a democracy because then it makes it seem like it also puts blame on Americans for a system that has disenfranchised them long ago. Okay, but regardless, okay. Now, all right. So, regardless, folks, this can change, all right? A lot of times when things like this happen, there are sudden, unpredictable changes. So, okay. But I am kind of done with the normal way of doing things. I am. Because I don't see a way. I don't see another way. But regardless, yeah, Dylan Nickus, you're right. We do have the technology to go. We do have the technology to go direct democracy. Absolutely. Now, I would have to, Dylan. I actually like that idea, but of course, there's a lot of logistics that would need to be worked out to make that feasible because, technological things can be hacked. There's all these issues with that, Dylan. But yeah, I think if we worked on that, that'd be an interesting way to do it, Dylan. Okay. Yeah, Henry G, you're right. We do not have a real left in America. I agree, Henry G. We don't have a real established left, and that's my issue, Henry G. And that's why I said what I said is because a lot of people are not acting like we have we basically have liberals, okay, and we don't have a left. The left is very weak right now. So the left might need to make sacrifices in order to convince other people in order to resist fascism. You see what I mean? And I know that's a sad thing to say, but I'm saying it as a leftist. Okay, I'm saying it as a socialist. Sir Bartholomew, maybe without the religious fervor. Let's put it that way. Maybe without the religious fervor. Okay. So, okay. Shh, TJ, you did not see anyone walk behind me. What do you mean? There was no one there. No one saw anything. Okay. No one saw anything. No one walked behind me. You all are hallucinating. Okay. All right. So, animal sacrifices, what do you mean, Stanley? So I was talking about how John Brown was really cool, but yeah, casual revolting. Hello, Elaney, welcome. Yeah, they would. Yeah, guys, we don't have a left in the United States, right? No, exactly. You didn't see anything, Retro Asher. No one walked behind me. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, we don't have a real left in the United States. It's very weak. All right. Matt Sun Guy, you don't know that. All right. Okay. Oh, all right, guys. So, exactly, Laney. Yes, exactly. It's powerless, right? It's powerless. So, I don't know. There you go. Okay, Luke, you know how to I love you, Luke. Luke says the public must be put in its place so that each of us may live free of the trampling and roar of the bewildered herd. Yeah. I believe in equal lefts and equal rights. Okay. All right. You're right. The DSA is doing pretty well. I'm just saying, guys, and I'm not saying this for sure. For my fellow lefties out there, we cannot ask for the moon right away. We just can't. Because I can promise you, in Nazi Germany, it didn't work very well for the Communist Party. It pushed people into the arms of the other side. And I would very much like, we also need to get the boot off our neck before we can push for other things. Regardless, we can debate that. That's just my opinion. Okay. Tell that to your cheeks blushing. My cheeks are not blushing, SoCal. You saw no one. There was no one behind me. I don't know what you're talking about. You're all hallucinating. Okay, you're all hallucinating. Ripped off a non-ICE Nazi BP vest. Interesting, ICE. I didn't hear about that. Okay. So yeah. Shh, Big Brandon. Shh. Okay, no one saw anything. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna pause this here. Meowzord, how dare you? How dare you? Okay. All right. So you said ICE is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let me look at that, Dylan. Yeah, that green screen was weird, right? That green screen behind me. I don't know what's happening. Okay. All right. So guys, this is apparently happening right now I saw something. I think maybe, I don't know. I'm feeling the gas. You must be feeling the gas, guys. There was nothing there. There was nothing there. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Okay. So, by the way, we're going to have a special guest on the stream probably on Monday. Yeah, Luke. You're going to have a special guest on stream probably on Monday to talk about what it's like to work in retail. Okay, just to let you know. A second here. Okay. Matt Saigai, how dare you? Just because you're jealous, Matt Saigai, doesn't mean you have to express it. All right. Just kidding. Okay. So apparently he does kind of look like Hassan Piker. Maybe it is Hassan Piker. You don't know. Anyway, I mean, there was no one there though. Okay. I know. Yeah, I get a special guest, but you don't today. Okay. So here we go. This is. So tribal leaders are issuing warnings to avoid ICE detentions. Okay, so the ICE has been going after Native Americans. Okay. Okay, ICE. Okay, Oklahoma tribes are urging residents to keep their tribal enrollment cards and other forms of identification on them in case they are stopped by ICE agent. Okay. Right. In a statement, the Seminole Nation released on Friday, Principal Chief Senna Davis Yelsis said to help protect yourselves and your families, I urge everyone to carry your tribal enrollment cards and firmly but respectfully assert your identity. Okay, so the ICE has already gone after a few. Okay, ICE has already gone after a few people who are. What am I going to say? Are Native Americans. Okay. So the tribal leaders are trying to issue warnings to their members. Yeah, gluteal myalgia. Exactly. I wanted someone to say that, and you did. Thank you, Ass Pain. Make sure you carry your papers. That's kind of what people are having to do now if they're Native American. Okay. Yeah, like this is disgusting, and they're setting up detainment centers. By the way, one of the detainment centers they set up is at the former location of a Native detainment center that they used to use. Anyway, it's gross. Okay. Obviously, they're going after natives now. Okay. So, all right. Go back to America, back to the Bering Strait. Yeah, right, Jonas? Is like, what are you going to. Anyway, it's just gross. Like, these people have suffered enough, folks. They have. They have suffered enough. And, right. We saw that video of those two natives getting kidnapped, right? And apparently, an ICE agent said to one of them, you're next, basically, as in we're going to come after you. I don't care that you're American citizens. We're going to be coming after you too. There you go. Thank you, Luke. Yep, they said you're next. So, all right. Okay, SoCal, that's fair. Anyway, so that's happening, guys. That's happening. Gotta love that for us. Now, folks, let me put my face back up here again. What I would like to do, well, no, let's do this. Let's do some reaction videos, guys. I want to just react to some things. Just know, Greenland, by the way. Oh, something else that's happened. Trump has now is threatening to put tariffs on countries who are sending troops to Greenland, who are refusing to accept his demands that the United States own Greenland. So that's good. More authoritarianism. Okay. There you go, Antifa, right? So that's good authoritarianism, right? So that's good. So that's happening. And we need to be aware of that. Trump threatening tariffs on these countries. Now, this is, I don't know how this will end out. I don't know how this will end up, but he's trying to threaten countries with tariffs. I think he's threatening the UK. Okay, there you go, Ice. He's threatening the UK, threatening all the other countries that sent troops, okay, threatening countries that are resisting him. And I actually kind of appreciate it because I think if he slowly builds the temperature, it will make Europeans angrier and angrier and angrier. I think if he were to just seize Greenland or whatever, the European leaders might do an initial reaction of, dismissing it or whatever, because a lot of them are cucked and it drives me crazy. But I think if he slowly pisses them off, it might give them more time to prepare for that. I don't know, but we'll see. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, I know they don't care, Retro Asher, but his normal tactic is that he slowly builds up the pressure like he did with Venezuela. And then ultimately he uses the military. So maybe this will make give the Europeans a chance to be more ballsy. Yep, they did, Doug. They did. Yeah, he'll go back on them anyway. So the motherfucker, excuse me, the asshole is really, hey, you know what? I'm all for the American empire falling quicker. That's all that he's doing. He's making the American empire falling quicker. And he's also probably going to speed up the rate at which Europe is more autonomous and is less on America's leash. Okay. And so they're already kind of getting there, but you see what I mean. All right. So that's good. God bless the collapse of the American empire. And also, I should point out that that Carney of Canada, did you guys hear about this? I thought this was very telling. Was at a meeting, and in reference to China, he said the following. All right, in reference to basically becoming closer to China, he said the following. Here we go. We'll watch that. I don't know if this is even a good version of it. Okay, so
visit.
So this is what he said. Okay, now I want to point out this is a good sign. I think that Canada is okay. That's a weird way to type. Hey, Canada is basically saying that Carney is basically saying I'm sorry. China is visiting Canada and they're forming a trade agreement of some sort. And he said the following in reference to China, okay? And look how slowly he says it. He's trying to emphasize this point. Okay, he's trying to emphasize this point. Yeah, and I agree. The phrasing of New World Order is problematic because it fuels conspiracy theories. But if we view it as like a realignment of trading relationships, I like it. Oh, why can't I hear it? Is it muted? It's muted, isn't it? It's muted.
Sets us up well for the New World Order.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is touting a new strategic partnership with China in talks with Xi Jinping in Beijing as part of what he has said is a new world order, in part due to the fallout from Trump tariffs in the United States.
So he's basically saying that, we need a new world order. We need to, as in China is forming the new trade bloc, we need to refocus Canada more towards China and away from the United States. Okay. And that was a bad framing he used by using that phrase, but he doesn't mean it like he means it in the economic sense. Okay. So, all right. Yeah. So he's even saying, yep, we need to reframe towards Canada because of the United States. For the Europeans out there, I know that Europeans are very sick of being shat on by the American government. And I know I sound harsh when I say this, but the leaders of Europe are still not fighting back enough. And it drives me crazy because I know the average European wants them to fight back more. So I really hope that they do. And I hope that maybe what Trump is doing will encourage them to grow some balls and push back against the American empire. All right. And I say that with love. And I'm not saying that against Europeans. I'm saying it against the leadership. Okay. Absolutely, Louise. They're doing great. All right. I know it's really stupid we have to be in this timeline. China is doing great. China is doing very well. They're also being much less now, guys. China does have has a military base abroad, does things like that, has some amount of economic imperialism happening, but their economic deals are far less imperialistic than the United States economic imperial deals and things like that. So I much prefer their economic deals and stuff. Yeah, they're playing Trump very well, as if it's hard to do, Louise. Okay. Right. All right. Yeah, Resident Union Thug. China has major labor issues. I am not a fan of China for a number of reasons, but we talk economically. Their trade deals have been less exploitative, I would say, than the Americans have been. And there's lots of other things here. We all know I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. You guys know I'm not a fan of Chinese imperialism and stuff, but so far we have not seen as much aggression as the United States, but they, over time that imperial reach will probably extend, et cetera. Okay. So, but I don't want to really get into that right now, but I'm just saying that some of those deals have been, my point is too, is that America is pushing people into China's arms also, which is a sign that the American empire is further collapsing. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Meowsword. I agree, right? I agree. And I suspect, Meowsword, as China's quote unquote middle class, et cetera, that, I'm not a fan of the phrase middle class, then they're going to start demanding more other things too. Well, regardless, we can talk about this later. Indeed, Resident Union Thug. Oh, absolutely, Louise. Absolutely. China is absolutely, China is far more, its economy is insanely powerful. Its ability to spread, how it does it, like its economic deals are pretty good. And guys, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not trying to say that I love Chinese imperialism. I'm just saying, in reference to this, they're better, right? You all know I get yelled at by tankies for criticizing China. But anyway, and I get yelled at by Hassan supporters. But anyway, all right. I don't even want to get into that. Exactly, Jonas. All right. Okay, guys. So, that's happening. Now let's do some reaction stuff. They do. There, Big Braden, how dare you? I did not say that. You know that, Big Braden. Okay, I didn't say that. All right. So, okay. All right. What I'm going to do here, folks, is I have to, I know, I'm going to go urinate, and then I'll be right back, and we'll do some reactions, okay? We'll do some reactions after that. Okay, please, go ahead, Jonas. Go ahead, Jonas. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go urinate. Pardon me. I'll be back in a moment. Love you all very much.
Yeah, some people like me are just destined to fuck up everything that we mess with. If I was made as a joke, I don't get it. Missed the call, but I guess I got the message. Usually I fall too hard, I'm addicted to pain. And if the world's on fire, I'll be swimming in flames, yeah. Cause I'm too impatient to wait for change. know I'm far from perfect. Oh, yeah. But I know I can make it work. I know I can make it work. I'm crazy, everybody knows my name, but I don't even know my name. Going insane, putting heavy on my brain, and I don't even know my name. It's a story about a ID crisis. Used to think my only future was the night shift. Brain on ADHD, autopilot. And through it all somehow I kept smiling. I can never find the right words to say. Only a handful of family ever sees my face. But I'm only human, don't we all make mistakes? I'm drowning in my head again, and my thoughts don't want me to win. They show compassion made of plastic, and I don't wanna be another tragedy, but I'd rather be dead than a skeleton dreaming about the things that he couldn't be. 'Cause I'm too impatient to wait for dreams.
You tell me you love me, you kiss and you hug me, have some fun. I give you a smile, hang around for a while, getting it on. And I don't really show it, that you're the only one that breaks my walls. Now baby I'm all for it.
Hello, guys. All right, I'm back. I got some. I also need some food because I'm hungry, so I got some food as well. All right, you guys. So I thought we could do some reactions. Some reactions to some videos from Discord, okay? On a side note, before I continue, if you like my content, you become a member for as little as 99 cents a month. I can't find, by the way, I cannot find my stick. I cannot find my staff. It's making me quite sad. Okay. Anyway, we'll figure that out. If you like my content, you can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month over on YouTube, or you can support me on Twitch by using a Amazon Prime membership. Just send me some of Jeff Bezos' money, and or you can just become a regular subscriber over on Twitch. Either way, you won't have to see ads. Okay, and what else is there? Oh, please join our Discord if you haven't already. Please join our Discord if you haven't already. I will once again put into the chat here the link to our Discord for anyone who would like to join. We have a great growing community on there, and you also will be able to suggest things to me if you'd like. All right, why do we keep getting religious folks in here today? Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Have faith, not our own works, but his holy work on the cross. If you love him, keep his commandments. Okay, you know what? Give me a second here, folks. You know what I'm going to do? I don't know why that, I will say a lot of the deals that China makes with African countries are much better than deals with like the International Monetary Fund or whatever. So a lot of African countries are acting completely rationally and in a way that is quite brilliant for their own national interest. Anyway, I'm going to point that out. So it's okay. The link is broken. Are you serious? Okay, I'll try again. Don't know why it's broken. Let me try one more time. You say that the link is broken. Fascinating. Generate a new link. Copy. Dink. 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 We'll try this again. Here we go. Paste. Boop. Try that one. Oh, it's the same one, but apparently it's not. If it's not working, I don't know why. I'll try it one more time in case I didn't. It worked for you? Okay, that's weird. Okay. All right, guys. So, real fast here. So we have that. I'm just curious. Why do we keep getting people in here just quoting the Bible? Hello, Ninjester. Welcome back, Ninjester. I'm going to go back and find that Bible quote that someone just quoted. Boop-a-doop, boop-a-boop-a-boo. I have a problem, CR. Oh my God, Doug, you're disgusting. It's because you're attractive to the religious folks. You could cosplay a choir boy. Oh my God. Yeah, I bet you do, Ninjester. I don't know where my stick went. I bet you stole it from me. I would not be surprised. All right. Okay, give me a second here, folks. I want to find where that quote came from. There it is. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. I'm just going to check this out in the Bible real fast. Why? Because it amuses me. Let's see where this is located. Oh, interesting. Okay. So that's from, okay, well, that's interesting. All right, anyway. So let's continue, shall we? Some dodgy land, a lot of them, yeah. Yeah, exactly, outer signal. But like this, we could debate this stuff, the China stuff, not a big fan. Okay, so of China, but hey, look up Luke, okay, thank you. Look up Luke 14:26. Look up Luke 4:26. Guys, I'm just doing this to entertain myself for a second. Please forgive me. Please keep watching. What does it say here? Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I love that. That's a great quote. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, guys, look at how merciful Jesus is real fast. I know I'm awful. I know I shouldn't talk about religion. Please, I respect you. If you have different religious beliefs, please forgive me. Forgive me for what I'm about to do. But here we got a great quote here from the Bible that for the Christians out there, you ought to remember this. All right, in case you're not actually following what Jesus says. So Jesus here says, if anyone comes to me and does not hate your father and your mother, your wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, does not even hate your own life, such a person cannot be my disciple. What a beneficent and kind man. Boy, does that sound culty, by the way. Don't you know that's what cults do? They try to make you hate all the loved ones in your life to separate you from them. Just a side note there. Just a side note. Anyway, all right. So let's go on, folks. We got some great videos to react to here. Let's take a look here at what we got. Okay, there you go, HGMS. Let me see what we got here on the Discord. I know people were sending me stuff to react to. All right, let's see what we got here. We got, this was sent from Asher. I'm just starting at the bottom. Jesus. So this was sent from Asher. Good God, Asher, what have you done? What have you sent us? I don't know what this is. Okay. I have a tangent to that. I'm sure you do. I get it. Lamira, welcome, Lamira. It's okay, Lamira. If you're not a believer anymore, more power to you. Good for you. I am an atheist. All right. I get that. I get it, Mira. I get it. I am a gay man who went to a Catholic school. Also had to experience some of that brainwashing. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, Lamira. Okay. This is sent from Retro Asher. Thank you, Tomation. Thank you. Let's see what Retro Asher has to say to us, okay? Retro Asher, I'm scared.
Answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Wait.
$6 shrimp special!
Imagine being able...
Retro Asher, you're a filthy degenerate. You know that? Go back and go keep painting your goddamn Necron figurines, okay? Retro Asher did that just to spite me. Because Retro Asher put underneath that this is what the kind of shit that happens in the chat when I'm in the bathroom, and I can see that. I can see that. Okay, thank you, Miogo, welcome Miogo to the chat. Okay, yeah, at least spell shrimp correctly. Dear God. So that's the state of the world we're in. By the way, folks, that's another thing to be happy about our current state of the world. Do we remember that a large portion of Americans who live in a country with nuclear weapons and who are very powerful on the international stage, a large portion of them are a death cult who believe that they need to bring about the apocalypse as soon as possible, and they have no problem with the end of the world because they all believe they're going to heaven. And they think as the way to do that, partially, is to send more money and more crap to a genocidal country in the Middle East with the hope that Palestinians will be slaughtered, the kingdom of Israel will be restored so that they can trigger the apocalypse in the end of the world. So that's good. A large chunk of Americans think that the end is a good thing and that they want the rapture and they want mass death and destruction. So I'm sure that's not a problem for us. I'm sure that's not a problem for us at all. Love that we have a giant death cult that has a lot of power in the government and who thinks that life on this earth is unnecessary because there's a life after death. Yay! Yay! Love it for us. You know what? You know what, folks? Fuck it. Fuck it. We're putting on the jester hat. I need it. I need the jester hat. Fuck it. There we go. Jester hat. This is better. This is my coping mechanism. Okay. So that's good. Let's see what else we got here to react to. Oh, this looks good. Thank you. Who sent this? Was this Doug? Okay, we'll watch this. Someone sent this to me. Apparently,
I would say the rest of the...
Oh, you know what? I've seen this. Let me I'll do this. I'll go to the part. Apparently, Kyle Kalinske was on Piers Morgan and crushed Piers Morgan. I've heard that that's the case. Okay. All right. Yay, we got the hat. Yay. Thank you, Asma. Thank you for caring about my hat. All right. So let's see what this is about. I don't think I've seen it. I've heard that it went well. I just want to...
The administration has been very successful. What's your problem?
And above nations, and they used it to be a good thing for the world.
Do we know
what
back
to 1925
part it's at?
Looks back to a court, which is why the league.
This might be too long.
Carl, hang on. America has a country on Earth.
Oh, I don't know. Bridge in Brooklyn.
Okay, guys, I can't do it. I need to know where it is in this thing, so forgive me, but I need to know exactly where it is in here. Okay, Doug, do you know where exactly it is within? We can't watch the whole thing. Would you let me know, and then I can find the exact spot you want me to look at? Okay, because I want to see this, but it's too long if I just watch the whole thing. Okay, so let me do this here. Oh, this is sent from Jonas. Let's watch what Jonas sent us. It wasn't you, Doug? Who was that? Who sent the... I'm sorry, Doug. It's a D. I don't know who it is. I'll just do this. Oh, Dylan, excuse me. Dylan Nickus, would you mind telling me where exactly... Give me a timestamp, and I can go to the exact spot you want me to watch. Because I know I've heard he crushes him, but... Okay. So let's watch this one. This was sent to us by Jonas.
So scientists gave parrots
as a palate
money,
cleanser.
and the parrots immediately changed the rules because they trained them that metal rings equals food. Drop a ring in, get a snack. Then the researchers introduced unfairness. One parrot got a pile of 10 rings, and the one next to it got none, separated by a wall with a tiny slot. So the rich bird watched the other one miss meals and started pushing rings through the gap anyway.
Oh my God, please don't tell me that birds are more egalitarian than humans.
Anyway, they ran the test again and again. Same result. Sharing until both could pay and eat. The researchers expected hoarding. Instead, the parrots spotted...
Guys, this is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things.
Inequality and fixed it. So scientists gave parrots money. And so scientists gave parrots...
All right, so that's good. Parrots are more intelligent.
So scientists gave parrots...
Shut up. Parrots are more egalitarian than human beings. That's good. Love that for us. Great. They're AI, right, Meowsword? Okay, the proof that humanity is a disease. Yeah. Okay, yep, you're right, Jonas. It does prove that parrots are smarter than humans. Okay, Kyle lovers over here. All right. Okay. What is the break then anthropology, Sam? What is the break then anthropology, Sam? What do you mean? Oh, sorry. Forgive me, Luke. What do you mean? Okay, I studied altruism and animal. Yeah, really interesting. Okay, asthma. I didn't. Yeah, yeah. Animal altruism is very interesting. I saw a chimp version of this. No. Outer Signal. We are not, guys. We're not going to talk about chimpanzees. You know better than that, Outer Signal. When I'm here, you guys can talk about chimpanzees on your own time. I don't want nothing to do with chatter about chimpanzees. Okay, no. We're not going to put. We're not, Outer Signal, going to talk about chimpanzees. They don't exist, in my opinion. They're terrifying creatures. Okay. We are in this chat, chat, folks. We are anti-chimpanzee. Okay. I mean, yeah. We can think about them academically and how they're primates and they're similar to humans, but that is the only form of discrimination I'm okay with in this chat and community, is that we do not like chimps in here. Okay. We do not like chimpanzees. You understand me? Okay, exactly. Chimps are scary as hell. All right. I don't know about you. I don't want to have my face torn off randomly. Okay. No, Resident Union Thug. They're not spirited. They are vicious monsters who will like tear off your face at a moment's notice. Okay. Big Braden, you're a racist, Big Braden. Bonobos, Jonas, bonobos can still be pretty violent. I'm more, I don't know. We can nitpick here, but like chimpanzees, though, no, thank you. Okay. No, thank you. We're not going to free the chimps, Outer Signal, okay? Jesus. We could save ICE a lot of problem if we just turn those concentration camps into holding cells for all the chimps of the world. Hey, I'm just saying. That's my inner fascist coming out. Let's do it to the okay, you know okay, this isn't funny at this point. I apologize, okay? I don't actually mean that. Okay. I don't actually mean that. Love that. Okay, I know, Drizella. I'm sorry, Drizella. I didn't mean to lie. I didn't mean to yell. All right, okay. I didn't mean to lie and yell. I'm sorry, Drizella. I always scared Drizella. I didn't mean to scare you, Drizella. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have made that joke. It was a dark joke, and it's not funny at this moment to make that joke. Okay, moving on. So let's go on to another reaction right now. Okay. So this was sent by Luke. Let's see what this has to say. This is a bishop. A bishop, in New Hampshire, Episcopal Bishop Bob Hirschfield's remark at Vigil for Renee Good. Okay, let's hear it.
Evening. I am in such awe of what I just heard, as you no doubt are, and of the statements that have preceded my coming up. The statements that call for justice, that are statements of deep sorrow and grief, and that it's meant.
By the way, I love Episcopalians. For those that don't know, Episcopalians are descended from the Church of England. And I think for the people in the UK, is the Church of England called Episcopalian or is it Anglican? Because in the United States, Episcopalian is what you call people who are sort of descended from the Church of England, kind of. I'm just curious.
With resolve and commitment to build a new world. I'm also coming to an awareness that the times of statements and the times of our eloquent words have reached a kind of limit, sadly.
Yeah, by the way, we need to bring back cloaks. This guy has an awesome cloak.
Yep. As someone who is a man of profound historical privilege, as one who has made statements that I have to say,
I love this, but he needs to talk faster.
They have been really good and eloquent, but have not moved the needle one bit.
Thank you, Jonas.
I want to speak briefly.
Okay, forgive me, Louise. I wasn't sure.
Primarily to the Christians among us.
Okay, you guys, I need to speed them up.
We are now engaged in a horrible battle that is eternal, that has gone on for millennia.
Yeah,
as soon as the Christian church became linked to the empire by Constantine in the year 325.
This is true. So the early Christian church ended up becoming the official state of religion of the Roman Empire, and it started taking on Roman characteristics in terms of its values and things like that. It became a big issue because, by the way, for all the times we talk about how Islam is blended with the state, Well, what do you think happened in early Christianity? It was blended with the Christianity was blended with the state all the time, and often horrible ways.
So the church immediately became corrupt. And the message of Jesus's love, compassion, and commitment to the poor, the outcast, was immediately compromised. And we have lost that voice, and we are now, I believe, entering a new era of martyrdom.
But
Renee,
these are
Good
Episcopalians,
being the last of note of those martyrs. New
Oh,
Hampshire's
okay, so this is badass. We might not watch the whole thing, but hey, I'm all for calling for martyrdom, as in calling for resistance. I thought so. Okay, they're an offshoot of the Church of England. Gotcha. Thank you, Louise. So I like that idea, framing it as martyrdom to resist the Trump regime. All for it. All for it. All for it. And guys, remember what I've said before. The religion doesn't really matter. If you oppress people, they will react. And I know I keep talking about Islam here, but there is a sense of martyrdom in Islam that people always claim is a bad part of Islam, that all suicide bombers or whatever. Literally, as people are being radicalized in the United States, you're hearing Christians call for martyrdom. So my point being that it is a non-religious idea that religion can use, right, for political purposes. You see what I mean? Okay, so as people are radicalized in the United States, they're calling for things like martyrdom and things like that. Yeah, Sir Bartholomew, it goes very hard, Sir Bartholomew. Okay. We're not going to watch all of this, but thank you, Luke. Okay. All right. Let me see here. This was sent by... Thank you very much, Jonas. So Jonas actually sent a clipped version of Kyle Kalinske. Let's watch this. This is Kyle Kalinske arguing with Michael Knowles, and I've heard Kyle Kalinske does a great job. So let's listen to this.
Fishing boats from Venezuela, Trinidad, and Tobago, and Colombia. By the way, he bombed fishing boats from Venezuela, Trinidad, and Tobago, and Colombia. He just did the regime change in Venezuela. He bombed Yemen and Somalia and Nigeria and Iran. He's threatening Greenland and Panama and Canada and Cuba and Mexico. And you said...
Oh my God, you guys! I would love to wipe that face off wipe that smile off Michael Knowles' face. Sir Bartholomew, am I right? Am I right, Sir Bartholomew? Oh my God, this man is evil. I don't know how to frame it. Some of the things he says about gay people, for example, well, things he says about anyone, but I have a particular hatred for how he talks about LGBTQ folks, like in the most condescending, smiley way imaginable. Basically wanting to genocide them in a way. Anyway, really disgusting human being. His smile makes me want to... Anyway.
There the whole time and act like it's okay. Is there anything Trump can do, Michael Knowles, that you would say, I condemn it, and you hop off the Trump train, or are you going to tickle his taint for the rest of your fucking life?
No, I've been plenty... Oh my God, I love you, Kyle. I love that. Are you going to tickle his... Oh, I love it. Oh, yep, I know, Jonas. Yeah, I forgot about that, Jonas. He also talks about Somalis in this way that is sick. Like he takes delight in demonizing these people. There you go, Jonas, right in the face. Lamira, you speak my little Lamira. You need to come to our streams more often. Dear God, Lamira, you know exactly what to say. Yes, yes. I think, is this the same Mira that's been here before? Are you the same Mira or are you a different Mira? Regardless, but like, yeah, I bet he's homophobic. I bet he's deep down, he likes some men. Okay, he's probably gay or something. Okay.
Trump policies that I've criticized because he's only right about 99.78% of the time. So the First Step Act I thought was a misstep. But I would say the rest. Excuse me. I would say the rest of the administration has been very successful. What's your problem? What's
my problem
is
that you're a cuck and you're
okay, Mira. I thought you were a different Mira. Yay, Mira's here. Hello, Mira.
And you're not an independent thinker and you're meat riding Trump. By the way, he bombed fishing boats from Venezuela, Trinidad, and Tobago, and Colombia.
Yes, he did just say that. He did just say that. Okay, he did just say that. Hilarious, all right? Matt Saigai, you said, of course you love him, Sam. Why didn't I see that coming? Matt Saigai, Kyle is... I wouldn't say he's fully a socialist, okay? He's a lib. He's a progressive lib. So, no, he's not like my favorite. But, yeah, he is really good at talking and really good at and doing things like this where he humiliates right-wing people. So I love that part of it, okay? Okay? All right. Yeah, he gurgled. Did you hear that, guys? He goes, oh, like, that's pretty funny. All right? That's pretty funny. Okay, I love that. So thank you very much, Jonas, for sending that. I love that. Michael Knowles deserves to be. Well, anyway, so, okay, this was sent from Meowzord. Thank you. Meowzord, your new image on Discord is confusing me. Did you have Fox Emblems image for a while? Because I thought you were him, and then, like, I got confused, and I wanted to cry because I didn't know. Okay, and now you have whatever this thing is, whatever this image is, which just, I don't know. I don't know what that is. But, okay. Regardless, let's watch this. This was sent from Meowzord. Apparently, Meowzord likes some cakes. Let's put it that way. Meowzord likes some big old cakes. Okay. Let's start over.
I saw this and I had to go put on my shirt, which for those who don't speak Crow, I just said fuck you. I apologize. But I wanted to talk about this for a couple of reasons. First of all, name me something that isn't MAGA but is super MAGA. And it's memes like this. Just get that out there. But second of all, this is like a really good example of kind of how propaganda works.
Wait, what does this meme say? The only bird that will peck
see an image
at an eagle is the crow? I need to read this. It's just
and
a piece of propaganda.
You're told something about it, and you don't look into any kind of context or reason.
TJ, how dare you? Okay, I don't care about furries. Furries are great. Love furries. I don't care. Like, you know, that's whatever. I literally, guys, don't care about what people do. We've never talked about furries, have we? I literally don't care what people do, right? Like, it doesn't affect me at all if someone wants to be a furry. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, but yes. But I know you're joking there, TJ, but all right. You know what? Druzilla, how dare you? How dare you? Why are you all turning on me? Why are you all turning on me? What's wrong with you? Okay. All right.
So you adopt that and go like, oh, this is me. This represents how I feel. When the reality is very different. So in case you've never seen it, it goes like this. The only bird that will peck at the eagle is the crow. He sits on his back and bites his neck. The eagle doesn't respond or fight with the crow. It doesn't waste its time or energy on the crow. It simply opens its wings and begins to rise higher in the sky. The higher the flight, the harder it is for the crow to breathe, and then the crow falls due to lack of oxygen. Stop wasting your time with the crow. Just take them to your heights and they'll fade. All so inspiring. Now, as you can see,
I'm sorry. Wait, that's supposed to be MAGA propaganda? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm excited. Okay, I'm invested. Where is this bullshit MAGA propaganda going to go? Why are we talking about eagles and crows? Does the eagle refer to the United States? I bet. Okay.
Featured this image.
Asmit, you're a nerd. You're a nerd that you know so much about biology and you know, and crap like that. Zoology. Okay, you're a nerd, Asmit, and I love it. I love it a lot.
Image of a crow like sitting on and pecking at an eagle. Why do the crows harass the eagle? Why do they go after the eagle like that? Well, it's because eagles kill crows. They literally prey upon them. They will kill adult crows. They'll kill baby crows. They'll steal eggs out of the nest.
Yeah.
And the crows
Jonas
are chasing off a predator that is trying to harm them because crows are communal birds.
Oh my God, this is funny. Okay.
They form families. They actually care about each other. Hell, crows mourn their
inhumane society. I will not have that in this chat. I refuse to let you say you're embarrassed to be Jewish, and I don't know why you keep saying it. Why do you keep saying it? We've established there's nothing wrong with being Jewish. You should not be embarrassed to be Jewish. I know it doesn't help you for me to say that, but we're not talking about anything in regards to Judaism or Israel right now, okay? You have no reason to be embarrassed about being Jewish, okay? You really don't. And I already explained to you why.
Dead. So when the eagle comes to prey upon them and kill and eat them, the crows have figured out, on our own, one of us is too small to deal with an eagle. But together we have great power. We can shift the dynamic of power and we can chase away the eagle that's only there to service its own needs, to prey upon us and take what it wants and leave. When meanwhile we care about each other. We care about our well-being of our fellow crow and we look out for one another. So the people who identify as the eagle, oftentimes it makes sense because you only give a shit about yourself and nobody else. In fact, allow me to provide a little more contrast between the two. This is a couple of crows. They're literally like a couple, all right? At this point, it had been about 12 years they've been together. 8 years prior to this, the female got hit by a car and it broke her upper beak. That's a death sentence. for a crow. She can't pick up food anymore. She can't feed herself. So she has been thriving for the last 8 years because her partner gathers twice as much food and feeds her.
Interesting.
That's what crows are about.
And can't they also use tools, Asmit?
In contrast, eagles like to eat and thrive in trash.
Oh my God, it is America. Oh my God, I'm so glad that's our national bird now. For a while, I've mainly hated that it's our national bird. I always thought it would have been better. For those who don't know, the first bird that was proposed to be the national bird of America was the turkey. And oh my God, would that have been better in my opinion? The three options essentially were turkeys, eagles, and doves. And I would have preferred turkey, but the more I figure out about eagles, the more I like that choice because that sounds pretty accurate. It sounds like America matches the eagle standard pretty much. I thought a turkey would have been funnier because it's like we're a giant turkey. But anyway, yeah, but regardless, also turkeys are prettier and they're not as violent and horrific as an eagle. But the more I learn about eagle, it seems to match more, doesn't it? Yeah, flamingo would be funny. A big flamingo. I really like what Germany has done. You know what? I'll get back to that.
Let's just in garbage.
They are, Asmit.
They love it. In Alaska, I used to see eagles rummaging through trash all the time, just covered in the grossest shit.
Me too, Asmit.
And that's not to say that crows don't eat trash. They will pick through trash. But crows are treated as like they're dirt garbage birds, and eagles are treated like they're some sort of like regal symbol of greatness that could never be bothered. And the people who identify as eagles certainly think of themselves in those terms. Meanwhile, what they're really saying is, I'm an individual who only sees what matters to me, who only cares about servicing my own needs, who doesn't care about others around me, and I will literally wallow in trash while expecting others to think that I am something special. Meanwhile, crows. So if you see this image and you identify with the eagle, you either didn't bother to learn what any of this was about, or you're a genuinely shitty person. So go ahead.
Why not both?
Be an eagle. As for me, I'm pretty good identifying with crows. Oh, man.
Oh my God, I love that. Okay, that's really good. Thank you, Meowsworth. That is so true. Was it Meowsworth that sent that? I think it was. Can I just show you guys real fast? I think I've shown you this before. The Germans, their national symbol, Imperial Eagle, used to be like this, okay? Used to look something like this. Now there are variations of it, but like something like this, right? This big, scary, first we could look at the Nazi version of the eagle, okay? Of course, there'd be a swastika. It looks kind of scary, whatever, okay? Or we could look at this, which was the coat of arms of the German imperial family, right? Like kind of scary bird, kind of aggressive looking, pretty, but also kind of scary, But then after World War II, yeah, the double-headed eagle does go hard. It looks really cool. But you can see it's very aggressive and kind of has a sense of power to it. I'm trying to find the double-headed one. So, well, here you go. Here's a bunch of images of the German Imperial Eagle. You can see it, okay? All these different things, parts of it. Now, the funny thing, though, is, guys, the new German Eagle, if you go to the Reichstag today, Reichstag Eagle. I love it. Oh my God, I love it so much. It's so silly. Dog Eagle. Am I looking at the right thing here? Let's see here. Right. Here it is. Okay. The Germans changed it so it's no longer scary, and that's what it is. Okay, look at that. It's like a fat eagle, and it kind of has a smirk on its face, and it's like cute and fat, and it looks happy. And it's not like scary anymore. It's just like a fat, cute eagle. Because the idea here is to like symbolize we are going to become economically powerful and we're not this aggressive eagle anymore. We're just an economic power. And yeah, we might not be able to fly so good anymore. And we might not be able to predate, predate smaller countries. But hey, we're a fat, happy eagle. Okay. I just like that. I think it's cute. I kind of want a fat, happy eagle symbol in the United States. Maybe after the revolution, we can make our symbol a fat, happy eagle. All right. Anyway, okay. All right. So there's the cute little transition thing there. Cute, fat, happy eagle. Yeah, these ones are even almost fatter. I kind of like anyway. So I just thought that was funny. All right. Let's go on here. What else we got here to react to? We have a lion. I totally don't get why. Oh, who knows, Rosilla? Right? I don't know. That's a good question. Druzilla. Okay, this is sent from Druzilla. We'll watch this real fast. This is a comedy bit, apparently. Troy Iwata breaks down Trump's chances of getting into heaven. Let's see if this is funny or not. We'll find out. Let's watch.
Troy, just be clear, you are not dead.
Only on the inside, Josh. No, I'm just reporting from heaven, and the flight was so smooth, and the cute flight attendant gave me 2 cookies.
Great. So based
Sorry, I got to pause it so I don't get copyrighted here.
on your reporting, what are Trump's chances of getting into heaven?
Oh, no chance at all. Josh, the guy eats shrimp. He's going to hell for sure.
Oh my God, it's so true, guys. It's so true. That's the Bible says that. It says that eating shrimp is an abomination. And it also says that laying with another man is an abomination. So for those who eat shrimp, you have done an act just as bad as having sex with a man. So all of you gays out there who have eaten shrimp, you're basically gay. That's my opinion.
What? Like, did you say shrimp, like the seafood?
Yeah, like the seafood, Josh.
There you go, Retro
That's
Asher.
God's big thing, okay? It goes murder, adultery, stealing, and then shrimp.
Yeah, yep.
Murder?
That's kind of true, kind of true. Yeah, no cheeseburgers either. Better not mix up. There you go, TJ, right? Me too. I want to go to hell, TJ. I really like warm temperatures. And apparently some of the people that have gone to hell are pretty fun to be around. Not all of them, mind you, but like a lot of them would be fun to be around. By the way, there you go. On a side note, folks, on a side note, I had a priest when I was in Catholic school who told our class, this is what I think this is deeply immoral. Okay, I got to tell you, I think this way of thinking amongst a lot of Christians is deeply immoral. The idea of universal forgiveness or that infinite mercy, that God will forgive people as long as you genuinely ask for forgiveness and he grants it to you. We had a priest tell us in high school that someone said, well, does that mean that Hitler might be forgiven? And the priest said, well, yeah. Even if Hitler dies without asking for forgiveness, and he gets to the gates of heaven, and he asks he expresses true sorrow to St. Peter. Yeah, God would forgive him on the spot, and he would be in heaven. To me, that's deeply immoral. Okay, I don't need this meaningless mercy without justice in the real world. Okay, no way. I think that is so deeply immoral that we think that your crimes can be forgiven by the wave of a hand of a deity that has done horrible things and where's the justice in that, right? Where is the justice in that? It is insane to me. So anyway, my point is then maybe it is possible, okay? Maybe it is possible that Jesus is that Hitler's in heaven. So maybe I'd want to be in hell at that point, okay? Okay, and Dahmer, yeah, Druzilla, no, he meant anyone. He's saying anyone can get God's forgiveness and then go to heaven, right? Like, I just don't, and like that's one of the more things of Christianity that people find more innocent is its desire in infinite mercy, but I think that's deeply immoral. Yeah, right, Lamira, that's why I left Christianity. It's crazy to think that someone who committed mass murder could receive the same forgiveness as a cheater just by believing in Christ. Yeah, insane. Like, anyway, I just think it's really gross. Okay, I just think it's really gross. All right.
Is the least bad.
Okay, look, I'm not going to...
Stanley, you said, thus he declared all foods clean. What do you mean there, Stanley? What do you mean?
Question the culture.
What are you
I'm
referring
a guest
to?
here.
I'm kind of surprised by this. If this was such an important thing...
I know, Asmit.
...to God, he would have been more explicit about it.
It is written in the Bible. Okay? Written words are important, Josh. Do you see a no parking sign and think, I wonder what that means?
This feels crazy. So you can be a cheating murderer and not go to hell. Like, what about Jeffrey Epstein? Is he in heaven?
No. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein isn't in heaven. He ran a private sex island. You know how much shrimp he ate there?
Well, sexual abuse and assault is very common in the Bible, so I would not. I'm sorry. I know I'm going on a religion rant today. Forgive me, folks. I'm in a poor mood. But, like, yeah, there seems to be a lot of that happening in the Bible, so maybe that is okay.
That can't be the only reason.
But it is. He would be right here now if he hadn't chased every gangbang with a pound of bang shrimp.
Okay, hold on. Help me understand the rules. What if you're a chef who cooks shrimp but never ate it.
Yeah, that's a toughie. I guess it's kind of like if a drug dealer sold fentanyl-laced pills to a teenager, like, would they both go to hell? No, because shrimp wasn't involved.
Jesus Christ. I got you. Oh, I see. Outer signal. Stanley is referencing Old Testament versus New Testament split. Technically right, but doesn't really change your point. Thank you, Outer signal. So, Stanley, are you still there, Stanley? Okay. I don't like how anyone doing anything they don't like isn't a real Christian. Yeah, that's the no Scotsman fallacy there. Correct. All right, guys, I know I shouldn't be. I'm not trying. By the way, I want people to believe what they want. Okay, I really do. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, atheist, whatever. I know I keep emphasizing this fact. I just want people to think critically. Okay, I know I'm always going after Christianity. I've explained before I have a slight bias because I was a gay man who grew up and went to Catholic schools. So you have to please forgive me slightly. Understand I had some trauma related to this, which is why I'm always talking about it. But I want people to believe what they want. Okay, religion. Okay, just believe what you want, but forgive me. Okay, just your news update. They tried to stab Jake Lane, and about 1,000 people chased him out of town. Who's Jake Lane? I'm sorry. Okay, Lemire, I could do a full religion stream, Lemire, if you want to, if you want me to see it, if you guys would like that. Okay, maybe I'll do a separate one so that people who don't want to hear that don't have to come into it. But Mira, I would love that. A Nazi podcaster. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. Okay, there you go, Luke. Okay, let's continue.
See, it's not that hard to understand. It's one rule, dude. Okay, just don't eat any shrimp on Earth, and especially none of the shrimp up here in heaven.
Why would there be shrimp in heaven?
Well, they didn't do anything
By
wrong.
the way, we learned after doing one of our food streams that this is an American dish, by the way. I didn't know that, but shrimp cocktail is an American invention.
Wrong?
Humiliating.
Troy, this is crazy. Who even gets in then?
Well, it's mostly people with shrimp allergies. Honestly,
Yeah.
heaven is really boring. Gandhi only has like 2 stories and one of them's good.
Oh.
It's all gluten-free too, so.
Maybe it is, Jonas.
Troy, you're eating shrimp right now.
Uh-oh.
Hilarious.
You know what? Worth it. Grandma!
Okay, there we
Recently,
go.
my
That's
landlord-
good. All right, so that's pretty good. Thank you, whoever sent that. I can't remember already, but thank you whoever sent that. Let me see here, guys. We got some comments here. By the way, Stanley. So, Stanley, are you still there, Stanley? I know you're the one that sent the message about how it said all foods are clean. So then, Stanley, why does the Bible contradict itself? Like, if Jesus just suddenly excused that, why do we still have the part of the Old Testament that says that? And then why did God change his mind randomly? Does that mean that the people before Jesus said that were all going to hell or whatever? And then when after Jesus says it, they're no longer going to hell? And did the people who were in hell because they had ate shrimp prior forgiven for that? Or like, how does that work? I'm just confused here. No, we're not stun locking here, a Bright Love, yet. We might get into it, but we just watched a clip about religion, so I'm kind of just talking about it briefly. Of course, Drusilla, it does. All right. Okay, guys. So let's go on here. Okay, so that means excellent, Stanley. So we can ignore the Old Testament. Got it. All right. So I that's fair, Stanley. We can just ignore the Old Testament. I understand. That makes perfect sense to me. Okay. So all right. So we'll stick to the New Testament. Is that what you're saying, Stanley? All right. So okay. Okay, excuse me, folks. So let's do this, right? We have some other thing. Let me react to one more thing here. See here. Ooh, this looks good. This was sent from Winter Linde. Let's see if this. Let's see how long this is. Okay, there we go. 1 second. All right, guys. So let's watch this. Oh, this looks good. This was sent by who sent this? Let me double check here so I can give credit where credit is due. This was sent by Winter Linde. Is Winter Linde here? Our German friend. Winter Linde lives in Germany. Love having her around. But here we go. This is called German TikTok Moms Chilling Warning: How 1930s Germany Mirrors Trump's Ice. Oh, great. All right, we just talked about this today, didn't we? So let's continue. All right. All right.
Hi, guys. It said that he...
Guys, by the way, for the comment I just made about the Bible, I'm asking that question on purpose. I just want to point that out. I hope you all are noticing what I'm doing by asking that question. It's sort of a trap, okay?
History doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly does rhyme. Now, a few weeks ago, Mrs. Max asked me, after looking at some stuff on Facebook, what the heck is happening in the United States? What the heck is ICE? And I explained that it's a bit like what was happening in Italy and Germany in the 1930s with the black shirts and the brown shirts. Now, I want to show you this clip involving a German lady who's living in the United States who adds an extra layer to all of this. Have a listen.
We're at this point in history where we have to answer future generations when no one stopped them. And the funny thing is, I am the future generation from back when in Germany, because I'm a German living in the United States. And I was able to ask my great-grandparents who were alive during that time.
I love this
all
image
the
in
questions
Meowzord, design ideas for Meowzord. Not for me, of course, but just for your life, Meowzord. This image down here of Robespierre eating cake up against a guillotine, highly support that.
We will have to face and answer later on in life. So the question that I had for my grandpa was, hey, why did you vote for this? Why would you ever let a monster like this be in charge of a country? His answer was, we didn't know. We were so poor we could not afford food, which sounds very familiar, right? And he promised us and gave us hope that he will reduce the prices of eggs and bread.
Drusilla,
and
you saw nothing.
That gives me goosebumps when I think about that. I would ask other questions like, but what when you found out about the camps? Like, why did you not speak up then?
Yeah.
And he said, first, we didn't believe the camps were a real thing.
Yeah. Now, that is interesting. You can interpret this two ways. So the Nazis wanted people to know that the Nazis wanted people to know that the camps existed because it was a terror tactic. They wanted people to know what happened if they defied the regime. At the same time, there was so much, there you go, outer signal. There was so much propaganda out there that it is reasonable to suspect that some Germans didn't believe that the camps existed. This is complicated, okay? It's complicated, all right? Like, I don't know how to say it. And remember, less than 1% of the German population was Jewish. So it's possible a lot of Germans didn't even know any Jewish people, so they would not have seen them disappear. This is debated by historians. Some people give less mercy to the Germans. Others give more mercy to them in terms of not knowing. We also have to understand that after the war is when a lot of Germans started saying they didn't know. So we don't have much information during the war. So it's possible that they, after the war, to excuse themselves, made up stuff. It's confusing, okay?
Sounded like a rumor. This was too inhumane to believe that this is the reality of what they were doing with human people. There was no social media back then, so there was nothing that pointed on that this is the reality until it became reality. And also, the regime started to have their own police, which would go around and try to pick out the bad apples, who was not trying to follow the rules, and literally take them, kidnap them.
Literally what we're seeing. I just talked about this. This is a great video. God, I wish Winter Linde was here.
Or worse. So when I would ask my great-grandparents why they didn't stand up, they said, because we would have not made it out alive. And they always told me that they brought Jewish families that were in hiding food. And this was something, standing up, trying to help the people that the regime was against, made them an enemy as well. And they could have been executed in the middle of the street. And it's just, I remember this so vividly because I could not believe that anyone would ever let this happen. I also can't believe that me leaving Germany in 2021, coming to America, that history would repeat itself here as a German. Yeah. And I see it with my own eyes. And we were wondering why we went through history class over and over again, talking about World War II. We were so tired of it because we could not, all we thought.
Yeah, so in Germany, guys, there is tons of education about the Holocaust and World War II and the Nazis. to the point where it can kind of be a lot for German students. And apparent, like, it kind of makes you wish that we had done more of this in our schools. Actually talked about the dangers of fascism, but of course, it's easy to not talk about it as much because we view ourselves as the hero of World War II, rather than, and we have this sense of American exceptionalism, like it can't happen here. But all right,
I was like, that's not gonna happen. We learned from this. We understand. That's not even 100 years ago, and now we're here, and I can't believe it. But I'm just hoping that enough people will realize what's going on, speak up, stand up, and that we can just turn this ship around somehow. I mean, we can't change what already happened, but I just hope it's not going to get worse.
Wonderful speech, wonderful message.
Wow.
And
that's true.
It's not repeating history, but once again, it's rhyming with the past.
It will get worse, guys.
It's important to understand that.
Just a reminder, folks, I said earlier that I'm advocating revolution at this point. I just want to throw that out there.
Talking about back in Germany in the 1930s, it didn't all happen at once. It was a gradual process. Rights were first denied. They were not able to get jobs. Jews were not able to access certain services, and then it ramped up, of course, after that. And as she explained perfectly here, a lot of people didn't know, and even people who had an idea of what was going on couldn't believe it. And we're seeing it in the United States at the moment, clamping down. First of all, Trump said, what we're going to do is we'll go after the criminals, Doug. The foreign criminals. And then it was like, well, we'll go after foreigners then.
It's very much, Doug, like this the us versus them mentality, which is central to fascism. A lot of MAGA folks, they see themselves as the us, and then anyone against them is the them, which is why if you ever watch Necessary Conversation, it's so easy for the dad to be like, oh, yeah, just kill them. Just kill the Somalis. Just shoot them. Just do all these other horrible things. Because they don't view them as human. They don't view them as part of the in crowd.
Now we're seeing American citizens be denied their rights. If you stand up to the regime, you're arrested. ICE is not reading people their rights. They're not saying, you have the right to remain silent. People are just being pulled out of their cars. I saw a video recently of a disabled person being pulled out of their car.
Yep.
And the response from the Trump administration is, you should comply. I've asked this question on the live stream. I've asked this question before. I remember back in the 1990s and the early 2000s, there were these people who were like, we need to hold on to our guns because we need to stand up to a dictatorship. We have to stand up to tyranny. We have to defend the republic. Where are these people now? Why are these people so silent? Is it because they hated the same people as Trump hated?
Remember what Timothy Snyder said: when the people who previously claimed that they wanted to resist the state become armed paramilitaries that are part of the state, the end is over, right?
Or Trump hates the same people and they're happy to go along with that. Where are all these libertarians who we hear so much about, who care so much about democracy, care so much about liberty, freedom? Trump is taking all these freedoms away. He's taking money from the poorest and giving it to the richest. Recently they were talking about, we're going to bring down the price of food. Has that happened? Of course it hasn't. Is there a goal to achieve that? No. All Trump has to do is blame everyone else. Find a scapegoat. Like what was happening in the 1930s and the 1940s.
Yep.
The United States is heading down a very dark road. Ordinary people are standing up. And I'm in solidarity with those people. It's dangerous for them. And, it's one thing when you're standing up for immigrants, you're standing up for foreigners. Americans are standing up for each other now. And we're starting to also see Democrats grow a spine, grow a backbone finally.
He doesn't live in America, so I don't think he knows the truth about that, but okay.
Some of them have always had those, like Bernie Sanders and AOC, but moderate Democrats are also realizing, hey, we need to do something, or we won't have a country, we won't have a republic, we won't have democracy. There's nothing really stopping Donald Trump cancelling the midterms. There's nothing stopping him from cancelling the next presidential election and saying, hey, I'm president for life, and there are people within his party who would be happy to go along with that. the same people who 10 years ago were criticizing Barack Obama, calling him a dictator. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this, and I'll see you in the next video. If you've made it this far...
Dear God. Oh my God, meow sword insane. All right. Okay, guys. I'm going to put my face up here. No, you're right. Guys, that's my thing. Like, that's the problem is he doesn't really know what he's talking about in regards to the Democrats. Okay. I suspect, he probably just isn't that familiar with the Democrats, or has been subjected to the propaganda or whatever, because he's overseas. All right. So guys, I'm going to go now. All right. I'm going to go have dinner, etc. I'll come back on tomorrow. Actually, I'm sorry. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I won't be on tomorrow. I'll be on Monday. All right. I might do a late night stream tonight. It depends on. I might come on again later tonight. Okay, let's just put it that way. We'll see if I have time. Okay, what's for dinner? I'm Mad Scene. Welcome, Mad Scene. I'm probably going to be having margaritas in Mexican food. So, yeah. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing. But I might have a stream tonight. We'll see. All right. No problem. Outer signal. Dinner. TJ. How dare all of you, TJ? How dare you, TJ? TJ, you're sassy. You know that? Okay. Margarita. You, Meowsword, you're gross. Okay. You're all gross. Drizilla, you're gross. No, I'm sorry. Drizilla's not gross. I'm sorry, Drizilla. You didn't say anything mean. I lashed out inappropriately. I love you, Drizilla. Thank you for celebrating for me, okay? Hello, Mr. King K. Mr. King K, I'm sorry you got here just as I'm leaving. I apologize. You'll have to go back and watch, all right? Cheer, folks. Stay safe. Yes, Sic Semper Tyrannis, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Sic Semper Tyrannis. We need, folks, as I said, I'm calling for revolution. We need to fight back here. I'm sorry, Drizilla. We need to fight back. We're very late in the game, and we need to get caught up to what's happening. And on that note, I know, I'm sorry, Jamil. I'm sorry. I know, Jamil. I'm sorry I'm leaving. I know it wasn't that long. You're the GOAT, Jamil. You're the GOAT, all right? And guys, I might... Okay, for all of us who are invested, we will be on Discord. Luke, you are a sassy... Luke, you're like a drag queen, okay? You're full of sass. I hope you know that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Louise. Okay, will there be a stream on Wednesday or too early to know? Probably there will be, Retro Asher. I would say yes, Retro Asher. I don't typically have one on Wednesday, but there might be. All right, it depends. Okay, because I haven't been doing as much. Thank you, Drizilla. Really, thank you. All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to say goodbye now. You know what I'm about to say. You all know what I'm about to say. Please join our Discord if you haven't already. Okay, that's awesome, Mr. King K. Join our Discord if you haven't already. First of all, free Palestine. Free Palestine. Second of all, never stop resisting. And definitely resist now. We need a revolution in this country. Okay, we do. We do. Okay, and that includes, and you watch me, though. Don't just blindly obey anyone on the internet, including me. See what other people are saying. Don't get caught in an information silo, because I can get things wrong. I'm a human being. So can other people. By the way, Hassan Piker's not perfect. I shouldn't have even said that. I know it's going to spark backlash from all of you. I like Hassan Parker. I'm just saying, let's not be blindly obedient to anyone on the internet, okay? We are living in a fascist moment in this country. Fascism thrives in an environment where people have lost faith in their democratic institutions, okay? We need major reforms. We need a revolution, okay? Okay. Please do that. We also need fight the power, absolutely. In the UK too, you guys need to be careful because you're headed down this path too. We need to stop reform. We need to stop reform. We need to stop reform. And we need to get Labor to get a spine, or we need the Greens to take over. I'm sorry, I don't mean to comment on other people's politics. I'm just saying, as a historian, I'm saying this. On the wall behind me is a sword. The name of that sword is Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker is thought to have been responsible for the death of 7 slave owners. Has been passed into my family for many years. Okay. Fascism thrives in an environment. I'm sorry. I have the back to remind everyone that our ancestors made some major sacrifices for some of the things we have today. Okay, some of the rights we have, some of the freedoms we have, and they made major sacrifices, including putting their lives on the line. Okay, we cannot let their sacrifice go to waste, folks. Please, 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 do not let their sacrifice go to waste, and have their courage, and always fight for a better future. And on that note, folks, you all have a good rest of your day, morning, evening, new night, wherever you may be in the world. Love you all very much. Please join us on Discord. Contact me on Discord if you have something else you want to say. Love you all. Bye-bye.